Hey guys, welcome to the close. 2 hours to go in a crazy trading session once again. Unbelievable range from bottom to top, and now we're more than halfway back again. 100 handle move, in fact, on the S&P 500 from the bottom to the top. Now back to the middle. So here we go. There it is, exactly in the middle. In fact, just went red again on the S&P. We were down, we were up impressively, and now back to negative 0.37 there for the Dow, the NASDAQ, 0.25%. TSX here in Toronto, red as well on the day. Oil with just amazing swings, top to bottom as well. 5% right now for crude. If you look on an intraday time frame for equities, we've actually not done much. Huge move up, huge move down. Now we're back to basically where it was around 9:30. 2%, 3% there for Bitcoin. And Ethereum, here we go. That's the board, about half and half right now, which would make the overall market now down 0.2. But healthcare stocks here to talk about. First off, all of them pretty much in negative territory. Moderna had a positive note today, up 4%. DVA, INCY, VRTX, everything else though, very, very red. Consumer staples as well, very negative. Some food names up here, Conagra, CPB, and GIS. Top of the board here to the downside, 5 to 7%, better part of PG there, 3% as well, negative territory. Energy stocks, they are positive, but again, just monster swings top to bottom for the energy group. Consumer discretionary, tech stocks as well, pretty impressive here. Semiconductors leading the way as far as positivity concerned. Bit of a reversal to say the least. Off the bottom that we saw earlier, there's Caterpillar, Deere, or GE, and Deere was here earlier. I don't see it right now though. NOC and HII as well, worth noting there. But yeah, about half and half. We're now down 0.3%. Just absolutely insane swings here in the overall market. Semiconductors, there we go on the NASDAQ, leading the way back higher today, where the software makers and the hardware makers are basically break even. Rest of the NASDAQ here. Look at Lucid, 8% for Lucid today. PDD having a nice day, 5.5%. Airbnb, like Airbnb's up 7% right now. Unbelievable. Crazy action. Welcome, guys. We have a couple hours left in the day. We'll take you right through to 4 o'clock. We'll kick things off as we do every afternoon with a little bit of a review of what was available as far as opportunities. If you go back to the open this morning, join us every day at 8:30. We talk you through the pre-markets, get you ready for the open, and present you with a bunch of opportunities and a plan. Sean had a plan today. He's going to tell you all about one of his plans right now.
Yeah, we had a couple plans, and welcome to the Trade of the Day again today. Look, we wouldn't be the self-proclaimed people's trader if we didn't share with you every single day for free our ideas. And then let's just look at what the Trade of the Day is going to be. It's going to be on CEI, and here at Trader TV Sean, CEI, I wrote this, sent this out, I don't know, 8:20 today. Huge volume yesterday, 500, 700 million shares. Looks like it'll do that again today. We have to watch out and watch for the test of 150. Let's go long and let's see if it gets supported at 125. That's it, like we talked about it right here. Let's go long. Let's go long over 150. A little bit of muscles, a little bit of check mark. So let's close that and see where we went from here now. So Mr. Roberts, let's close this quickly. Thank you. No problem. Neil's trading. Look, we're doing this show live right now, so thanks, Neil, for that one. And here we go. Let's go back and say why, Sean? Why did you like that 150 area? Well, I just marked down. This is yesterday on crazy volume. So we're talking about now the 7th, I believe, right? Yesterday. So right in here, the top of the day was 146. Look where we came from, though. We came from $1 all the way up to 146 and stopped. So, okay, that gives us our level. So all we're waiting for is for that to break. And it's just that simple. So here we go. We transfer over here. Now this is the daily 1-minute chart, right? So this is a 1-minute chart on today. So here's that first 146. It's right down here. We take that long. I think we got long like 145 on. Broke and came back anyways. There's the long, and then just seconds later, there is the in again at 150. So we actually get in at 151. We take a piece out at 150, 151. And then look what happens, an explosion to the upside. And this is the problem, man. These hands are good, but they're not diamonds, so we don't hold it all the way up. It starts just to rip up. The thing is, in the pre-market, I talk about this all the time, I don't want to use a full default. completely out of the story here for CEI because this is only at 9 o'clock. But you know what? The volume was like already 50 million. There's so many shares to trade with that I had no problem going in with a full default here because it's breaking the level and it's trading as if we're open. So I don't have any liquidity problems. Bang to the upside. It just continues to go, man. We let this thing go all the way up. 175. We're trading this. Each one of these is like 2 or 3% out. Like, it's stupid that I'm doing this, but this is how I trade, all the way back up to the upside. It threatens in here around 160 or so. It starts to threaten like, hey, maybe we want to get back to the downside, right? So we're using the 50 period and VWAP as sort of a sign to say, hey, maybe this is something that we have to, momentum's changing on this name. But it doesn't. We get out very small there, and then it just blows to the upside. This is where we really start to go crazy. Why? Because if you look back here, like that's today. We didn't get that $2 yesterday, and we had that 50-cent move. So we're already in 50 cents, and the market literally just opened with big buy candles here too, right? So hit it to the upside, just start to cash it out. Now this is the key thing. It comes back down, we hold very small again, breaks down, we start to get out at this 150, 160. But this is really where that trade's fine. This is my money trade. You know, made it, it's good. But this is where we get very, very specific. And you know what? Normally you've seen me trade, and if I like the long, notice none of these are shorts. We're not going short CEI today. But you know, we don't trade it in this area. The only spot that we maybe could have tested again, it wouldn't have worked, but I wouldn't have blamed myself if I would have got long at that same level again. But look what happens. It comes back in, it crashes. It doesn't even look at it. It crashes all the way down to 135 there, all right? Comes back, basically uses this exact 145 again as support, and then crashes back down. But look, I'm still long right now as I do this. We wait for it to base out here at $1, right? Why are we choosing $1 again? It's not that it lines up with this pre-market level. It's just we have an out. I go long here at 106. My out is that bottom candle right there, $1. If we break $1, I'm out. That's 6 cents worth of risk on the full shutdown, on the full share size, okay? Boom, right to the upside. First out, 110. Boom, we already took our 4, 5, 6 cents there. Out, out, out again. Then our next out, 113, 115, 120, 125s. And now all of a sudden with a 6 cent risk, we're taking out of this 19 cents up here. And we're still holding. So we still have a piece of this on board, right? Out, I think each one of these is about 10%, so maybe we have about 10%. I'll go back and double check. But out on the way back up. The key thing here is have a plan. And that's what Brendan started this with. We had yesterday's high right there coming into play, right? Look at it. That's the trade we make there. Boom, big time explosion to the upside. Good, right? Now this one, let it settle down, let it come out base down, and then take that back to the upside. So for me, it's just 2 trades. It's the long here. We got cute going 146, but really it was 146, 150 as we said on the sticky note. And then we wait for it to base and come down there. We see the base and we take it. Notice we don't take it on the way down. We let it form some kind of a base and then take it. So that's CEI. It's your trade of the day. Remember, oil's hot, so you got to keep looking where the money is and where the flows are. Another 500 million share day for CEI.
Crazy volume, crazy liquidity, as Sean was saying there, in that stock and in a lot of those little tiny oil names today, all of which were on the watch list this morning, guys. If you need the watch list, that is the link. Miss V will join us here in a minute. She'll have that in the chat for you if you ask her nicely. Let's talk crude oil, because I mentioned when we came on there at, I was just trying to find 9:30, which is 8:30 Chicago time, which is right there. So that's kind of the line in the sand for equity session here on crude oil. Right there, you can see the pink line. Back and forth we went. Huge move up to above 129. We come all the way back to 119. It tests back to 128 and change, and now we're basically right back to where it started again. The equity session, yes, we're up 4%, but when stocks opened, we were basically right where we are right now. I want to get to AMD, but I want to talk about this first. The Apple event was the other big kind of headline this morning that we were saying 1 p.m. So they come out with a whole bunch of new stuff, including, guys, this Mac Studio, which looks really, really cool and has a pretty hefty price tag on it as well, starting at a cool $4,000 for the new Mac Studio. There's the new iPhone SE, a bunch of new colors, a whole bunch of really cool stuff for Apple. Rallied right through that entire event and is coming off here a little bit with the overall market. but pretty good day nevertheless with this event for Apple.
It's the market's fault that I didn't get the chance. I was at the end of the show, the morning show that is, I was saying, yeah, maybe you get a chance to fade Apple after the event. It gets to yesterday's highs. And then the market started a bit of a turn. So I might have missed out on that opportunity. Well, not might have, absolutely did miss out on that opportunity. I don't think there's any surprises with this. I have a friend who's I know a lot of people that are Apple fanboys, but I have one friend that's just over the top. And usually, if there's something that's gaga, he's lighting me up with messages. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this or that. And radio silence from him. He's actually talking about the Russell Wilson deal, and he's not even that big of a football fan. So I know he's not that excited here. But the market really is the story pulling back. I feel like, yeah, you can think it's a sell the news type of event, but what's going on in the future, like the swings that we're seeing here, like you had the big breakout. There was the talk of the potential 15 billion stimulus, and then that shot the market to the upside. There was a dip, and then it ran, and then it's just been a hard reversal. Back to flat now, as you mentioned, Brendan, in the NYSE and NASDAQ, and Apple's just going to be following suit. When that happened, I just went to the names that Affirm. Lucid was a new one, and we'll go over that at some point, but I went back to shorting Affirm when we got to those highs. I just feel the sell the news was something I was looking for in Apple. It just never got to the levels I wanted before you had this market pull back in. I still feel it's the last name above that 200 period. If the market can't sustain a breakout, then Apple's breaking the 200 period at some point, and then you're going to be able to get some better juicy prices back down to like a 140, 145. It just hasn't happened yet, but you can see it's getting more shallow each time it pops. And at some point when this happens, eventually you are going to break out. It's one of the few things holding out, and it can't hold up forever unless something really gives to change this market sentiment.
Okay, so yeah, you know what? I haven't even really been looking at Apple, but yeah, the market is pulling back down in. So you can watch. Neil just talked all about Apple. I can talk about maybe another major big cap tech stock here in Microsoft, and we looked at this. Whoops, I got to get this feature off. There we go. We looked at this stock down here at 273, made money, lost money, then got in and out. You are testing VWAP again on this pullback down. What a great move up from 270. We talked about buying these 270s. That shot up $14. So this is the thing. We know the market is strong when it wants to go, but it keeps getting faded. So it's like these stocks, like Microsoft, it's going to blow up. So is AMD, man. AMD went to 108 or something like that. Yeah, we have 110 there from a 100 bottom. We're shorting here. AMD's a good stock for us today, but we're shorting here. And look at that cover. I covered this at 10 o'clock at what, and it was a $1.50 winner, by the way. Short 101.60 or whatever this was. Out 130 cents, something like that. And then just look at this. Just straight to the upside here and blowing up. We were able to catch some shorts, got short here, caught it again, and got out for flat, but missed the whole move to the upside. So I know there's strength in these names, and I know there's money on the sidelines that want to come in and buy. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind about that, about any of these big cap tech stocks. A name that I've anointed now dead in the water, Facebook / Meta. Do you know the run that this name had today? Forget about AMD and Nvidia. Look, we have expectations for them, Microsoft, that kind of stuff. But I haven't heard really anybody say anything positive about Facebook in a hell of a long time. 186, guys, 186, 197. So it went to $10, and it's $100 less than Microsoft. So, Facebook, there's tons of money here on the sidelines for tech. I'm just waiting for it to come in and hold. That's that. But do we have NEO talk coming up anytime soon? No. So let me just review that quickly because I just got out. So NEO, the same thing. This is going to look ridiculous, but look at all these shorts up here. It's on our sticky note. We didn't believe in NEO all day. I don't have one long trade. Every single one of these purples is a short. It's my number one stock. Well, CEI is my number one stock, followed by NEO today. And you can see, look at this. We just short all the way up. Short, out. short again against 75, and then doot all the way to the downside. And we actually did a pretty good job of holding the majority of these out in the 25 and 30 range for that 40, 50 cents. And then we just took a piece out here at 18. I think NEO continues to fall. We're still holding some of that. So yeah, we'll go with the banger right there on the NEO short today. And that's, you know, a good name for me here. We'll hold NEO the rest of the day and see if we continue to the downside. But hey, so far so good on some of these plays.
Ranges on a lot of these stocks this morning as well. We'll jump back to crude oil here, guys, because the headline this morning that lifted oil markets right across the board was that the U.S. was going to ban Russian imports of crude oil. So we knew it was coming. It does come, and they end up selling this news very hard, in fact. The break was basically as soon as Biden stopped speaking. We go from 128 all the way down to 120 on a huge flush on high volume, and then it gets lifted, as we said, right back to basically where it started. So that entire move gets erased, only to come back in once again. But so we knew the news. The news comes, and they sell it off pretty hard. So
I'm going to make a point about volatility here. At some point, maybe we'll go over 9. 9 was the energy small cap or micro flow, whatever you want to call them, that I was trading. But it was Chevron that it sort of blew me away here. And it's not that it wasn't that bad in Chevron. It's just the way that this happened. I've been looking at this 150, 155, 160, now 170 every time the futures, oil futures that is, are at a key level, and then looking for a pullback trade. So Chevron comes right into the 170 level at a point where oil futures have already made a bit of a turn. I get one scalp from 70 all the way down, getting a bunch of shares out for $1.50, and then I put the reload on. And at that moment, I'm saying on the live show, oh, it feels like it's going to run the 170 stops because there was a huge offer in there and it just looks strong. Probably need to either, you know, hold it through and not have a stop, or move the stop back past 170 to give it a little bit of extra space, because it's likely to shake people out. And then I proceed to move my stop back, but not far enough, get stopped out, and then watch it make the same curl that I was looking for the time before. Like, I was anticipating the shakeout, and then it got shaken out. It's like, it was actually dumbfounding. I didn't even go back to the stock after at that point. And then the volatility just continued, right? Like, we actually got almost to 175. I was looking for 175 up here, so it never would have happened. Chevron's been giving you the $5. And then it pulls back $10. At this point, we're right back into VWAP. And I think some of those games that have worked usually happen in the morning, and then after, like, once you're closing down on oil futures, I'm not really looking to make those same plays. But it just goes to show, like, even when I was anticipating it's going to be a little more volatile than I expect, give it a bit more room, still get shaken out of a trade. That's the kind of market that we're going to be in, so you have to expect those things and do a better job. Well, I have to do a better job of maybe giving it a little bit more room, or just being a bit more patient. Either way, you have to adjust to it because the volatility is not going anywhere. Keep saying this over and over again, but it's something we have to get used to. These types of pullbacks, retracements, monster bounces, shakeouts, they're all just part of what's going to happen this year. And you got to make sure you're adjusting to it.
Yeah, we've already talked about Camber, so CEI, but I mean, right here, the point number one on the sticky note today was just the fact that energy was way too strong, and then we come in and we get the news about Russian imports and exports, and then so we just go over to XOM and we take 88, long 88 in the pre-market, right? And so if you notice, that's exactly what we did. We went long 88 right here, 88, 24, and 88 flat. Got some out 50s, got some out 70s, and then the last piece out 90s, and that's that, man. I mean, we missed the ultimate top, but then, all of a sudden just energy kind of implodes on itself over about a 30-minute period there where Joe Biden took President Joe Biden took the stand, I was going to say, but just started talking, maybe eventually, just had a press conference there, talked about some sanctions and whatnot. Europe came out with some talk there on some bans as well. So oil came all the way back in, and right now it's a finished trade for me. I don't trade, XOM too often, so when we get these kind of a wins, I mean, look, it's a $2.50 win, so we're going to go like, yeah, buddy, on that one, and the apes don't trade oil, but there he goes right there. That rocket uses it. That rocket uses oil.
Not to plug in, but like the number one symbol on Swaggy stocks for the last week has been literally OIL. OIL. It's like that's what
OIL. Yeah,
that's what's trending on.
I should have said
Reddit,
XOM. I mean.
Okay, fair enough, but oil.
But oil, no. I mean, all these names, right? Yeah. Cambridge. I mean, there's so many that Wusa there, a big one as well. USEG. But anyways, the point remains the same, and that's what Neil was saying there is that like this is the right sector, Brendan. There's tons of talk here. There's tons of liquidity. I mean, 60 million shares already for XOM. Like, what's its average volume here? I wonder if I can find that out quickly. Let me see this here. XOM. I don't even know if FinViz shows average volume. I'm sure they do somewhere here. Average volume, here it is, 28 million shares average for XOM, right? It's 2 o'clock here. We probably have about 20% more volume to go, most likely, and you're already at 60. So we're looking at like 75 million or so shares. We'll see. I don't know if it gets that high today on XOM. So, we're double the volume, double the relative volume here on an average day. So, yeah, I think you got to keep looking at these names and don't ignore them. And I bet you something will be on the sticky note tomorrow as relates to oil.
Might be a good week to do a video on relative volume as well, guys. Definitely high right across the entire energy sector. I want to touch on chip makers because a lot of them still in positive territory, including we touched on AMD there very briefly. Just noticed a lot of the daily charts, though, looking very similar in the sense that we're right back to significant levels here, like bouncing off of multi-month support for some of the chip makers, still holding up nicely here in a market that's fading.
I'm gonna bring up Marvell just because like they recently had earnings and I like the levels on the daily, but I think obviously you'll talk about AMD there, Sean. I'm assuming.
I was gonna do that too, and I was also gonna bring up the fact that Intel is red today.
Well, remember, so when everything was down 4 or 5, Intel was flat because it's just a different type of play. And then when the growth names, the growth ones are all up, Intel's going to be down. So it's a bit of, it's just not, it's in the space, but it's going to be a different type of name. So.
Yeah, I'll do AMD.
Yeah, hopefully you'll talk AMD because I know that's the one a lot of people are looking at. But on the daily, just to give a perfect example of how whipsaw the action has been, Marvell, which is up 5% today, look at 60.5 on the daily chart. Like 3 times we've tested down there, and then no break of 69.70. Like you're essentially just bouncing in a $10 range on the stock. And this is what I mean about the market changing sentiment and breaking away, right? There's so many of these names. Like, yeah, okay, fine, you're maybe finding some support, but until you break out and hold above levels like this, then you're barcoding. And it's a huge barcode because volatility is gigantic. So this is good for day trading. This is what we mean. Like, I'm kind of like, why are we not just parking longs at 61 on Marvell and selling it when it gets to 69 every single day? As I look at this, it's on 10 million shares today. The volume's there, all that. So that's the idea. Is these stocks, some of these things need to actually hold the level up. Like in this particular case, it'd be break to 69.70, close above a couple of days, find a base out there. And this all takes time. You can be patient with it, but you're still in a weak market until some of that actually happens. And this is just an example. Now, the good news is, I'm going to compare this to the NASDAQ the fastest way that I can. This is the pullback here in the NQ, a lot closer to the bottoms off those highs. And then you'll see something like a Marvell just right at VWAP. Like it's pulled back halfway, but the chip names are just a little bit stronger. So that's some relative strength being shown here to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ pretty close to getting to those lows. So if I'm looking to buy dips this afternoon, it will be in chips. It will not be. There you go. It won't be chips and dip there, Randy, but it'll be in the chips if I try to make some plays here to the long side. Otherwise, going to the well with things like Affirm. And Lucid was just on a week, like last week's high when the market started to turn, so that was sort of low-hanging fruit. Yeah. But I know where relative strength is, and it looks like it's in the chip sector as far as the NASDAQ goes.
Yeah, that's why we were shorting NEO today as well, because of some of the EV space. But yeah, sure, we could talk about AMD. Look, I mean, I was talking about Intel. Intel, obviously not the growth stock that these other names are. So AMD, and Nvidia releasing crazy amounts of chips, very, very high performance kind of stuff, right? And so I'm not really going to talk about these trades that I made today. It's a positive name for me. I only have one negative name that's going to actually be Microsoft for the day, and small on Affirm, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, which is ridiculous what happened to be on a firm, but whatever, I put the order in, so we'll talk about that in a second. But look, AMD continues to be the name that I feel like you should own in this space, or Nvidia. You know, we've already touched down to $100. This is just on a 20-minute. You can see what happens to this thing. Like when there's no love for the NASDAQ, like there hasn't been for, like AMD could still crash, man. And like what Neil was saying, like if this goes down 10%, Intel probably holds down 2 or 3% or something, right? These are just much more aggressive names, so you have to trade them accordingly, and then, you know, not put all your money in at one time. We had that one question from a viewer. They said, oh, I'm putting my whole life savings into AMD at 132, and we're like, I don't know about putting your whole life savings into any name, unless it's Apple, to be honest with you. But here we go, and even then. Yeah, be responsible. Don't anything can happen at any time. But there we go. So here you go, down to $100, right? I mean, that's held a couple times. I feel like that's about as safe as you can go. I know our boy Trader Prad, you know, nibbles down here, and I think that's what you got to do every single time this falls back in. And the same levels are true for Nvidia. We can call up these levels. They're right at it today. $100. I think it's worth buying. And then you have the 50 period back at 125. So in a heartbeat, like, you know, when the Fed raises rates, I think it's next week, right? The 13th or the 14th. They'll raise a quarter point. If the market likes that move, this thing goes back to 130, 135 next week after. So the day of the release, if the market likes what Powell has to say in his testimony, mark my words, write it down, send me your money. Nvidia goes to 135 at least, 130. Okay, 130 on whatever day that is, March 13th or March 14th. If the market likes it, AMD will run and just rip people's faces off, as will Nvidia, right? And so I like these names. Yeah, there it is. What's up? I don't know what the point of that was there, Randy, but there it is. We'll go back to Brendan.
He loves that
with the wolf. But that's what I'm thinking. I think AMD is a super strong bullish name and one that you should buy. And there's more to come on this later.
Yeah, going to be an important few days anyways for the overall market going into that announcement. We'll get, again, CPI, the next inflation reading on Thursday morning before the market opens. Let's talk about some of the payment stocks. We mentioned the weakness that we've seen in the pre-market in this group over the past few days and even a week long. Visa and MasterCard both come out this morning and say they're going to increase fees on their credit cards. I mean, that was somewhat of a catalyst, positive catalyst anyways, but Square, guys, PayPal, all with pretty good days back to the upside.
Yeah, look, keep in mind, like these were all looking well. Not Square was looking ugly, and I'm assuming PayPal was at the same time. I was watching Square until you had the reversal on the stimulus note, and I came in liking 102. And then by the time we were sliding down, I said, okay, short pops to 100. And then by the time the market opened, I had adjusted to 98. I ended up missing 98 when I was trading a firm. We can get to that one in a bit. But it turns out that it was a good trade most times. And then when it broke 100, this high, it's just been holding above. Like even on this dip, it looks like Square 100 is back to a bit of a thing. And you have to be able to adjust. Like the comment that I made when there was that spike at the end of the morning show, or somewhere towards the end of the morning show, but that stimulus was, sometimes when that happens, you've just got to accept that it's a big enough event that you're going to get one of those huge turns, and it could flip the momentum, right? Like this chart looked real good to the south side, and it was about to like Square. Okay, if we get another red day, that's what we're gearing up towards. You're shorting for the 98. It's going lower highs. Going to take out that bottom, and then flip. You get that news, and then it's a spike to the upside. And you've got to be able to say to yourself, okay, if I still want to short something, I have to wait until it makes another top, or you just have to at least get out of the shorts and accept that there's a bit of a change that's happened to you. Otherwise, you're going to get run over. It was the same thing when Powell was talking. It was a couple of weeks ago. He was in front of Congress, and he flipped the market, and you just had to be able to get out of the way of it if you were short. I think 100 is a pretty solid level. If it can get back to this, maybe for a look to the long side. I'll go over to a firm because I am in that one. And I shorted this one multiple times. And again, had it pretty dead to rights, and had even reloaded. It was looking fine. Then that news comes out. It stops me out. I try it one more time and stopped out. I then jumped in too early off that 35 level. Wait for it to make a top here back at 36, and that's what I'm sitting in. And someone asked me what my target was. I was going to get out at VWAP, and the market just kept falling, and it looked pretty weak. Wow. And I said, I'm going to get in front of 33. At this point, I haven't really changed that. I'm thinking either it takes a top or I want to be out in front of 33. Affirm, just a bit of a different story. I kind of feel Block, a little bit of a stronger name there. It's just relatively speaking, but Affirm's the one I decided to short. Block 100 looks like a solid bid.
There it is. Microsoft right there comes down to VWAP, man. We're long rate now, 278.60. We take the smooth 30 cents on the first third. Let's see what happens after that. There's a nice little bang trade for you right there as the market gets to go. And yeah, and I don't know. Thank you so much there, Taco Eater. Today, happy International Women's Day. I was going to say it's not Taco Tuesday today. Sean mentions AMD, it rips $1 higher. And then someone said, yeah, it got the Sean pump. That happened the last couple times, man, when we talked about it. But it's normally in the pre-market where liquidity is a bit thinner. So, you know, as much as I like to think that that's the reason why, not in the open market. But unless there's some big hedge fund that for some stupid reason would take my advice and buy certain things. So we'll wait to see here. But there's Microsoft right there, nicely done to the upside here. Oh, yeah, let's go, buddy. 50 cents, yeah. Here we go, let's go. Here we go. Bang again right there. So there's another win for us all the way. I mean, look. We're happy. I mean, our day's just getting doot, 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 doot. Remember we said Microsoft was a negative name. Let's see if we can't turn that around. Right there, took a trade off the VWAP. These trades, off the 50 period. It's a good trade, but again, the reason why we go long right now, and I know we're gonna go through the rundown here in a minute, is the fact that we're above the 50 period. So if we break back down below, we've now taken out 2/3 of this trade. We'll hold this for that break. Even if we just break that, 278.50 we'll get out. So that's a nice little trade there for Softy. Let's see if it holds these highs.
All right, saw a few people mentioning Safety Group, which is another very low float type of deal. It's not energy, which is the one thing to note. 35% here. This thing came to life around 1:30, 2:30. They announced a new partnership for social responsibility. So heads up on SFET as we go through the afternoon here. Trying to get back to day highs even as we speak. Okay, favorite time of the afternoon here. Let's get on to some frustrations because it was a crazy morning, whether you're looking at those teeny tiny low float energy stocks or whether you're looking at the market itself, up, down, and around and back to red now. But we were back to very positive at one point, guys. So pretty easy to have some frustrations today.
Oh, it's definitely easy. And mine is going to be a simple one, and I talk about the opportunity cost, and 9 got me. And it's just one of those, everything was looking pretty solid in the morning. I was basically at it pretty early at about 7:30 or so. I was shorting off of the $6 level. It broke out, we stopped out, but we're still up on it. At that point, I'm thinking, okay, it's got to be the long. It made this double top at about 8:45. We're on the live show. It made the break. We were able to get it from that to $8. I'm buying the dip at 7. That looked pretty good. And then this is where things got hairy because I could have, when the last long stopped out back here at 675, it's like, okay, you're up on it, just walk away from this thing. Instead, it halts up, and I love these halt trades, don't get me wrong. It halts up and then reopens, testing the high. At that point, I was actually thinking it had a chance to still break out, so I miss out on the short trade up there. And then it goes into this, I can only stay open for 2 to 4 minutes. And then I can't, it's just, there's no semblance of anything but complete and utter chaos. While I'm watching it on every single reopen, trying to think of a play that I can make, I make one in and out for, a small hit, I guess. But realistically, it was the complete and utter distraction that it was for about 20 to 30 minutes when there were other names that were moving. Like HUSA was actually going. INDO was making moves, IMPP was making moves, CEI was making moves, but because it was 9 that I traded first, I was locked into watching this one do this utter nonsense. Now, eventually, it was a great short that I didn't hold on to when it came back up. I waited for it to make some sense up around the 750 level to catch a buck, but overall, it's just opportunity cost. We did say this in the morning. I feel right that you should have been watching these one at a time. But once this had halted 2 or 3 times and was nonsense, I could have just said, okay, forget about it. This doesn't make any sense. Let's move to something else. Because the opportunities that you had, and I'll just use HUSA as an example, this was giving bigger moves, better consolidations, cleaner opportunities off of levels. Yeah, it was still wild. But it wasn't, oh, I'm open for 1 minute or 2 minutes and then we're halting and there's no real good levels to trade off of. That wasn't the case in HUSA. There was actual chances to be able to be in. And I get it. You can't really be trading 3 of these at the same time. That wouldn't really make a lot of sense. You have to find the one that makes sense. And once it stopped making sense, and once it stopped having, semblance of price discovery and just too much of a halt fest, I should have walked away from 9 and found something that made more sense to me. I didn't do that until too late. I'd missed out on the chances in HUSA and some of the others.
All right, mine is simple. It's going to be the only red name. Well, still slightly red on Microsoft, but and this is a very, very slight one too. We go short here on a firm at 35.78 against 36. It literally went just to 36 the one time I had this thing on the rip up. We should have given it more space. I should know better than this. If my level is going to be 36, I got to give it to like 36.50 or something. I didn't even have that many shares here. I had no reason to get out of there, but it was during the monster rip, and I was just like, oh my God, how far is this going to go? And I just set my stop for 36, and it happened about 3 minutes or less than that upside, and then now look, it completely crashed down. So what would have been a nice little win, and this is all that I was waiting for, was this move to the downside here. You saw me destroy Neo to the downside, and it could have been done the same thing again here for a firm. So for me, it's just, I know this is a beatdown name. I was calling this buy now, pay never, like at $150. Should have shorted it. That's one of my major mistakes, was just, I've never believed in a firm, and I still don't. So this name is going to be a short forever for me, but I should have held on to that. And again, sometimes you just got to stick with your gut. And I didn't here on a firm. I didn't give it that much room. I gave it like 30 cents. Like, it's just not enough, man. I mean, it just ripped up $3. So for me, lesson learned, give it a little more space, and then we would have been able to hit this to the short side. So for me, it's a firm, but hey, it is what it is, as they say, and I hate that saying, but that's why we're doing this, frustrating stocks, because, hey, it was a frustrating one.
It's a great saying. Come on now.
Touch on oil here quickly, guys. Again, starting to break back to the downside. 123.50 was the last little pivot there. And I mentioned this simply because one that frustrated me was IMPP today. I mean, even if you avoid the initial move higher up to 9.5, every reopening gave you a nice pullback to get some short. Finally gets rid of some support from yesterday and the day I was busy doing other things. But also on this oil note, this just out as well. So the White House saying that even today's actions to ban Russian oil, they believe will not be long term, will be temporary, which is probably pretty obvious when you think about it over time. But for them to come out and actually say that is a little bit meaningful anyway. So oil trying to break to the downside once again, still higher on the day, but unbelievable swings here for oil today.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying, but I guess they felt the need to come out and say that. But either way, there's no avoiding the whipsaw action. Even just as we look at it, the market breaking back up and bouncing a little bit. I just wanted to point out that SFET that you brought to our attention, safety. It made a double top at 120. It just bounced off a buck. And I just finished paying for shorts and obviously missed out on that move and was saying, oh, the only trade left is maybe you can defend $1 or 90 cents down here. There's not that much size on the bid. I was a little bit surprised by that. But there's a couple thousand shares there now. I might take a shot at 01s and just give it a one stop. And then if it goes down to 90, it might have second legs. I'll give anything that's on a day one type of a move and breakout, and that 90, by the way, is the previous high. That's why it might be a better level than $1. But it's on the day one. I think it's worth a shot to buy dips. That's what we felt about. That PLM this morning. It was just, that's why it was a good break. Some of these names, whether it's Indo, if you got them on the first or second day, they went for a few. And the energy space isn't the only thing that's running for small caps. So this is a new phenomenon, obviously low floaters, not necessarily those short squeezes. But as long as they want to run, you have to find some longs. I'll try this $1 on SFET, but it's 90 cents. I just showed you on that daily chart. That's probably a better support level in the event that one does break.
I mean, I haven't looked at too many of those names. I mean, we looked at Camber, we looked at a few different ones. That USEG today, another name that's been, I put NQ, I put AM. Okay, good, still working. We talked about this earlier. That's a 1 minute chart. Okay, wow. Okay, a bunch of halts. I was gonna say we're missing data, but halting like crazy today. What a crazy name, up to 14 bucks. Now you're all the way back down to 7. For me, this is not like, it's not part of what I do. So I'll look at these early when this is happening. But right now, you've seen me trade like yesterday, Mullen. We took out $2 or something like that. Didn't work. You know, if you break through 850 on USEG, maybe again here, but you know, let's be careful where a lot of these names come from. And if you're joining our show for the first time, we do talk about these all the time. It's just, you know, like look at that. Like we were just $4 yesterday, and you're $14 today. You know, is that something that's an investable name? I mean, if you're going to be trading, that's fine. But as an investment, it's going to be a hard no. You guys already know that, unless you're in early. So, you know, just make sure that when you are trading this, and I think Neil's gone over a couple levels on his stocks as well, is just make sure you have an out. Never enter any of these names, period. Even Microsoft, anything. I don't enter anything unless I have an out. So I really feel like you got to risk manage even more importantly when you're trading these names, because look how fast this is. This is like in 5 minutes. You go from $11 here all the way down to $9 before halting. And if you're not watching this, like you know, you get up to get a coffee or whatever, you know, you're down instantly there, like 25%, and there's nothing you could do. And then the halt opens back up, and then you go to 7, and now you're down 50%. So, you know, just be very, very careful with what you're doing, and always make sure you have an out. I think it's pretty simple.
Let's talk about the metaverse. The topic in general has taken a bit of a backseat ever since the beginning of the year as the market focuses on other obvious topics. That doesn't mean it's not coming, and that doesn't mean we should not be prepared to invest in the metaverse. Guys, we're going to give you a few ideas of stocks that are coming into significant levels right now that you should be at least putting on your radar for the metaverse.
100%. And this is the thing. Put on the radar, right? Because I'm gonna I could talk about Meta, the ETF, or maybe we could talk about Meta, the stock.
We're not going to talk about Facebook.
We're not. It's just I want to bring Autodesk into it. If you're building out like a virtual space, which eventually is what we're going to get to, then give me the software name that is all about building sort of 3D spaces and that backbone. So I love that. I love the concept of Autodesk. Don't get me wrong. I think if this is going to work in 5, 10, however many years it's going to take, Autodesk is definitely someone that stands to benefit from this, and it's a good name to have. However, like so many others, I get it. It's been beaten up. Sometimes you look at a chart, it's like 350. Oh my goodness, it's trading below $200 today. That's got to be a good dip buy. It's still pricey, man, and that's the thing with probably a lot of names that might be in the ETF. Its 4P is reasonable, well, getting reasonable at 25, but its PE is still just under $100. This can come down further. Now, maybe we'll get a bit of a turn with the Fed next week, but I believe you're just on the radar for something like this. And when it gets down to like a 140 or 150, you get to like you get that forward under $20. That's going to make a heck of a lot more sense. Just be prepared to nimble. The metaverse is you're waiting for this play. And we've just turned into a bear market. All that sort of screams at you that you don't have to rush to some of these ideas. Now, in this particular case, that's true. It might not be true of just about everything out there because you know there are a few other names that might be a little bit more attractive at the prices they're at. But in this one, I like Autodesk, but you might be waiting for a little bit deeper of a pullback, or maybe even just later on this year after we've actually gotten some hikes out of the Fed and we understand what's going on with the balance sheet.
Yeah, exactly. I love that call. And then the reason why we're not going to talk about Facebook Meta is because it's too obvious. It's literally its name. So we'll stay away from that. And I believe that Facebook in what we're talking about now with Meta, Facebook, is just there's so many regulatory issues behind them that, you know, I just feel like there's so much more about them. So I'm just going to go over to the next most obvious name there is. And I do like Unity Software. I do think there's a good possibility for them, just like there is Roblox. So if you want to get into gaming, those are two names that you could definitely look at. But I'm just going to go to what powers them all. And I'm just going to go to the best of the best, and I'm going to look at NVIDIA. And we're talking about things coming up to key levels, right? I mean, look at the daily chart here on NVDA. You're right down in here to $200, 210. We've bounced off a couple times. You can go all the way back to the fall where 200 was supported as well. NVIDIA's current PE is probably the lowest I've ever seen, 31, which may be a little bit spicy for this time of the market with inflation and things like that. But if you want to play in the metaverse, I believe this is the right name, NVIDIA. Look, you need data. You need power, right? You're talking 3D. Neil just mentioned that. So what you're going to need is those things combined. Get the best GPUs that are available. NVIDIA just released their new Omniverse Enterprise. That just came out. That's directly related to more power, 3D. They're super expensive and you can't get your hands on anything. But the point is, as far as the stock is concerned, I really think it works. And I like this area. They're down near key levels. You could pick up AMD as well. But for me, let's go with NVIDIA. It's the biggest name here. I believe they're going to benefit the most. Corporations, anybody's going to need to run servers. They're going to need to hit up these GPUs and some of these semis. So I'm going to choose NVIDIA down near some key levels. And hey, why not start to pick some up? 210. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. NVIDIA is my play here.
Let's stay in that realm, guys, and talk about another chip maker in Qualcomm as well, in tons of devices that can and will be used in this space as well. Have a look at the daily chart here quickly for Qualcomm. Back to 150 on a bounce today, a nice bounce in fact, but big time levels coming into play here for Qualcomm. So whether it's Qualcomm, whether it's NVIDIA, or whether it's a wide range of these stocks that are going to be involved in the metaverse in some way, shape, or form, like Autodesk, they actually build or design the buildings that could be used in the metaverse. Lots of great opportunities, lots of great levels. Again, put it on your radar, make a note of it, and let's see what the market does. I just actually noticed, guys, some of these were actually decent trades today, going red to green and then some. I mean, you know, we talked a little bit about the chip strength already in NVIDIA, but I mean, ADSK, QCOM, even red to green and then some on a day when the overall market is nuts.
Understatement of the day belongs to Mr. Brendan Wickens.
You're big time.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's 100% right. To have watched these early on, absolutely monstrous. NVIDIA goes, and we'll just stay with the same name because we were just talking about it and Ben sort of teased it. Yeah, NVIDIA today, monster trade to the downside. You can see where it's going here. We're coming down in. It hits that buy zone that we were just talking about, 210 or so. It hits 206. Look at this, man. $20 straight to the upside. So I'm going to assume that it was green, that it was red here. Yeah, so yesterday's close right around here, 212. We touched 2.6, so you're down a little bit, couple points. And then just a monster move to the upside here, turning the name green, and it was green even more than this. We were up like 4%, and I think we can get back there, especially with the market motoring right now. So hey, look, NVIDIA, a monster move up. It's brethren. AMD, same thing, brethren. Same thing to the upside. Bang, $10 straight up. That's 10%. 10% up in an hour here on AMD. Let's call it 2 hours. 10% up in 2 hours? Like, some people are like, hey, I want, 10% in a year is great. But obviously, if, this is not the same kind of trade. But AMD, they all recovered beautifully. And I've already told you, if you believe the Fed, and I think the Fed rallies the market on the 14th and the 15th. So these are names that, honestly, man, I may get involved in this name right here. Get ready to rock and roll. I'll put some money in this probably tomorrow. It's SOX L anyways. It's a 3 times, must be on AM, 3 times semi-bull. So, I mean, this name has a big time, see, 10%, has a big time opportunity to run. I will put this on. I'm going to put this name on at some point. I would have loved to get this today, wow. Down here at 30. The next downward move in the market, this goes right into my TFSA and we'll swing it until the 14th, 15th and see what happens there. But I really like the semis. I think that was Miss V. What's up?
Yep. That's right, guys. Here I am to remind you to smash the like button. You might already like a video, but make sure you like this one you're watching right now. And also we have a super chat from AB, the most crazy day I have seen in my trading life. Wish you all very big profit. AB, I hope it's crazy good for you. And I hope, guys, you're all doing great. And let's go back to Brandon.
Quickly, guys, this just coming across right now for the overall market. Looks like they've reached an agreement for a bit of a ceasefire, for a temporary ceasefire anyways. 10 a.m. Moscow time Thursday. It doesn't actually say how long it will last, but that is for humanitarian corridors to be provided to a few cities. So that's going to be 7 a.m. Moscow time on Thursday. So the market popping up a little bit on that.
Yeah, obviously look, any ceasefire is going to be good news. We'll love it. But I'm going to come to this siren here, which is now resisted a halt up for a second time. It looks like 1362 is trying to halt again. It's a big time runner. And it's a small floater. Yeah, this is starting to get out of hand. This is like the third time it's now resisted a halt. I just paid for shorts. If it gets to $15 without halting, I'm going to try to fade this one. Anything that does this, like, give me a break. It's already a double up, so it's in that target range, being within 10% of 15 bucks. But that's the level I'm looking at for CYRN here, looking crazy. Of course, SFET, right after I'm like, I want to bid in front of a buck, it goes right back up to 115. It's now sitting at 110, but it's CYRN that's got my attention. This one's going nuts.
Yeah, and I just hit the siren there because I see a little bit of an alert here on AMD. AMD launches Radeon Pro GPU for MacBook Pro. So there it is, AMD finally getting into what we've all wanted them to do, into Apple. So yeah, make nice with Apple, and you shall be rewarded. So we'll see if my net is going to be rewarded right here. It looks like it's trying to come back in. We're just going to me, that's good enough news right now just to see if we can stay above this 107 area. So if we stay above, actually, I just got to change my order. I just saw where it was. It's actually, the 50 period is 106.90. It's not a big deal, but to me, it makes difference. So we'll wait for that. We'll average into there. It's going to be a small trade. We're not going to put this on just because of that news. I don't know if this was, pre-thought of already or out of the blue. It doesn't look like it was out of the blue. So right here, AMD with that report. Not just that. That helps me go long. That's why I punched the ticket right now. Otherwise, we do wait often for levels to form. But there it is. We'll go long on AMD, and we're long at 47 here. So it's not. It's not a super spicy trade yet, but we're going to give this back to 106.90 with a little average in here around 107. I put it 107.20, 107.28. That's maybe too early. I'm going to put one a little bit further than that. But here we go. Let's see where we go on this one. And I see Randy over there. I was going to go, here we go, as we're trying to go to the upside with AMD. And I just want to go over one more thing here. How does this taste, SoFi? Bang, with a little up arrow here today. This was the one long that we identified for you early on the show. 933. I could have done this for trade of the day. It's just we didn't have enough action on this name. It did come back, and look at it retest. VWAP here, VWAP there, VWAP again. We're still long SoFi down here from 933, that very bottom. This is once again another name that I want to load up on. I really think SoFi has a big potential here. I believe the bank charter has been downplayed, so let's wait to see what happens with SoFi coming in soon here, 935. If I can get a chance to go there again, man, I'm going to load the boat. But SoFi, a nice win for me today.
Yeah, and of course, right as I try to get Siren there, CYRN, the 2.5 million is actually the float, tiny, but that curl, man, the spread really opened up, and it just flushed to 13. I tried to get 13.5, but you're going to see it absolutely run to the downside. It goes right to the hull price, or at least right to close to that hull price. 2.5, actually $3 to the downside. It might not be done. If it makes another test at the top, I'll take a shot at it. At this point, looks like it might have gotten away. Speaking of that, I mentioned 9 being the frustrating stock. It just moved, bouncing right back to $6. That's not a random level. It's the third time we've gotten to 6 since about noon, and each time it's flushed a buck. So the same thing's happening here. If this tries to go, in the midst of the whole, like, if an energy name tries to make a breakout when they're just talking about ceasefire, it's going to be a fade for me. It's just give me a break. If it already faded and they all capitulated today and you're going to get a ceasefire, this just screams fade at any of those levels.
Remember the last 2 ceasefire agreements that they had, Russia went ahead and murdered more Ukrainians.
Okay, but I'm not talking about XOM.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Oxy. I'm talking about NINE, which has a float tinier than the amount of people that watch the Jays each year, which is dwindling each season. But it's still, like I'm saying, like these floats. And by the way,
that's what makes it go. Yeah.
I can't remember a time that we've looked at. Like, we used to think a low float stock was under 20 million shares or something. Now we're talking about things with 1 million, 1.5, 2.5. So like these get more and more crazy and more volatile, and have more people trying these longs in them. Like, that whole game is getting much more dangerous to hang on to. So just to caution everybody, like, I remember, like, 20 million is a tiny float.
Yep.
This thing has done 75 million shares, and it's got, I think, Nine's, I forget exactly what it is, probably like 1.5 or something like that. But it's insane. And understand, when it does that much volume, the churn going on is insanity. It's literally the greater fool theory for the long, and it's an algo party. And so remember, like, the algos are just crushing these types of things. So you do have to make sure that you have a really good idea when you do jump into them. And with that market bouncing to the upside, I do have to make a decision on some of these shorts, because Lucid here which was just cruising. It just bounced off VWAP. I like a firm where we have it, but Lucid gets back down to VWAP, and I think I'll be taking this one out. Let's just get it out while the going is good. We're about to head into power hour in about 5 minutes. And, you don't want to sit there and throw away profits. Obviously, this one looking pretty juicy off the top, but it's still an upward trend. It was up 10% at one point. That's how strong it was. And SFET, safety, right back toward those highs. So I'm still in the bid in front of a buck. But are you going to give me a double top at 120? Maybe it's just going to turn into a fade. If all I can do is fade it off the high, then that's what I'm going to try and do here. So SFET, it's got a double top, 120. I like the short at this price. Partly you look at the daily chart, 125 has had some resistance in the past. So I just jumped into SFET. I wanted the long off a buck. It decided to make the run at the high of the day. Was able to get on the bid and not get the fill. So just going to play the short. Like, take the trade that's in front of you, not the trade that you want, necessarily. I mean, you might get it.
You might get it. We try to just get Facebook there, and we'll flush ourselves temporarily down the toilet. It's no real damage here, but our AMD does crack, and that's why we got out. So I told you we'd average in there, and then there's the out. So it was what were we, long 40s, and then again, and then out. So about a 50-cent hit there on AMD. We're still positive on the name, obviously, today, but we just took that off Microsoft, off Apple News. But as you can see there, the market got hit there. And so that's fine. I mean, that's what we're going to do. It's hovering around the 50 period right now. This could be an opportunity to go long for the market, but I'm not going to be fooled again on this. I hope not anyways. Let's just wait to see. The market has faded every single day in the afternoon. And if it continues to go back up to the upside, then maybe. Okay, so here we go. This is what we really wanted to do now. So we're into Facebook. This was a name that, mooned literally today, all the way up to 197 again from a 187 bottom. So we do have some areas of concern here. Back up to 194. I don't want to wait for that long, but if we just take this out, and this will move like crazy. This moves like 50 cents at a time. But if it takes out this is 193.20, I want to just bump it up a little bit more than that. So let's give this some love up to 193.50 and just hope that the market continues to fade down. So we just bounced off of 192.49 there. We are short now 97s. So let's put a bid down here into the 50s, see if we can get that. And that way we won't then have to lick our wounds on the way back up. Let's see if we can get 1-to-1 on the first piece here. And then if the market does fade out, hopefully Facebook will give us at least down here to 191 and change. And that's what we're going to look for here on FB. And then quickly, I know we got to go to Brendan, but I just want to say that we're going to get out of SoFi if we break a little bit lower than this 984. So that's where the 50 period is. I'm thinking about this like 979, 980 area. Right there. So that's going to be the break, but let's not leave Brendan too long. What's up, bud?
Just a correction here, guys, from Icon or Refinitiv. So it's not going to matter too much because it won't be market time, but 10 a.m. They're now saying 10 a.m. up here, corrected. So it was 7 a.m. initially, but apparently 10 a.m. on Thursday, not 7.
And money. Give me that money back. Right there. So there's Facebook right there. Thank you for that AMD money back, by the way. There it is. Someone said that I'm on one today. It seems like it, but it's just, we're having fun, man. I mean, this is what we're doing. We do this every single day. Neil and I, we're here for you guys, man. I mean, this is an everyday thing for us. So if you like trading, you like excitement, you like going over stocks and hearing us ramble on, then you're not our wives, but you are traders with us here. So thank you so much for that. Shout out International Women's Day. What's up? To all the female traders and every female that's touched everyone's lives here on our show today. But you can see there's the out on Facebook. You know what? Now that we're down here, I'm just going to use this as my out. I'm not even going to let this go up back too much higher than this. 193.20. Let's just put money in our pocket now. If Facebook wants to fade out the rest of the day, we've got it. So that's good. Maybe 193.20. Yeah, why not? We just took 50 cents. Let's give back 20 cents more if it does go against us. But right now, Facebook, cash money, and we like it.
So I'm going to make a suggestion because it is International Women's Day. I'm going to hit this key, but I want a different one, and maybe we'll figure it out where Miss V is going to be like Superwoman, and then we can be cheering.
Well, we had Miss V Batman.
I know, but see, it's not on my thing. So I think maybe you
I'd asked for it. I think it might be off the system.
Yeah, we had one which was it was like the Miss V and Batman. I love that one. It was great, and
you did this one already.
That's the one I hit.
That's the one you hit,
Yeah.
okay.
But I want
Oh, I
one.
didn't even
I
see
want,
Ms. V
I
was
want
on
where
the stream.
she's doing.
Sorry about
that,
Ms. V.
Let's go with
but-
that because that's what we need to do.
I think she might have Miss V Batman up there. I don't know, but
Somebody's got it.
anyways, thank
fine.
you again,
Camera's
Ms.
on
V,
you.
for everything that you do. Keep banning people from the chat
Yes,
if they misbehave.
But this is what we're going to do almost, well, maybe not every time we get a bit of a winner, but we shorted that 116 off the 120 SFET. I just got some in front of 110, and then I got 107 on the bid, 104. I still think I'll take a shot at the long in front of a buck. If it wants to just give you $1 to $1.20 and you play inside of the range, then fair enough. And also, I said of the 2 shorts in bigger cap names that I was in, I was going to take out Lucid at VWAP. We've gone ahead and done that. So, and the only reason I'm in this Lucid trade is when the market started pumping up, I knew I wanted a firm when things started to really extend. I actually put a trade on GameStop, which was okay, good, not great. But Lucid got right to this level. I was just scanning names. Where is something set up for a curl? And when I saw Lucid right at this high, double top 29, and then that big capitulation, 25.75 was the top. I saw it get to 25.75, pulled back. I took it when it came there the second time, and then we've been hanging on to that short all the way into VWAP, which also happens to be yesterday's high. So a lot of times these things line up, and then playing the trade isn't that difficult from a technical perspective. That's why I love those setups where it's easy to follow your rules. Like getting out in front of VWAP or in front of yesterday's high is sort of a simple. If it breaks out that multi-day level to the top, pretty simple to get out, right? Like the more defined your trade can be, it's a little bit easier to be disciplined when you're going counter trend, which you have to be when you're going against the grain, because Lucid's super strong today in retrospect.
Retrospect.
I don't know.
I don't think it was a call.
This, which is nothing right now, but it'll load in a second.
Probably part of the
trust me.
computer. Right?
There it is.
Oh, wait a minute.
Rivian CEO, guys, now just saying he's expecting another 12 months on the semiconductor shortage. Not much of a reaction here, but heads up on some of the automakers.
It's like
Is this the same guy that was going to chop 20% off and then add 20% back and then say what's up to Amazon?
they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You know what though? I will say this though, and this is a credit to them, admitting that they made a mistake. I actually on a call, I think they did a call after, and I believe they were saying like I made a lot of mistakes in my time, but this is one of the biggest ones ever. It was wrong to do it, and you know what? You bungle something like that as a CEO. More credit to you, man.
Yeah, it's
Go
fine.
for it. I still think Rivian's going to continue to be under pressure for a bit, and I'm not sure where it's going to make some sense to get into this name overall if you like it. But you almost need it to settle. Come on, chart.
There we go.
There you go. Since it broke that all-time low at 50, like you've been waiting for it to settle down somewhere, and these are fresh lows. Like you've got no price history here. Sometimes you can go back to private rounds of funding and then find some implied prices that make some sense, and every now and then that'll be a level for you. But otherwise, you're waiting for it to calm down. It hit 40 today, so there's always a chance that 40 is going to be an interesting temp bottom. Like it's a wick down in the morning there. So maybe that's a bit of something off of 40 even. But good on them for admitting the mistake. To me, it's a short until it isn't. So I'm not really sure why I didn't short it yesterday. Looking back at this chart, okay, shorted it at 60. The next day shorted it at 55. The next day shorted it at 50.
Whoa.
And then didn't short it at 45 when it dropped $4. Like, what am I even, like, why not? Like, why would I not make every $5 we shorted it for 3 days in a row? And this is what I mean. Like, you should go back to the winning trades, man. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It was a 50 and a 45 trade in yesterday's action, and we did it 3 days in a row, but not yesterday.
Market just blew up right there. Yeah, and there goes SoFi. So here goes SoFi. Wow, okay. A nice little move back up here for SoFi to the high side. So that's going to be a good trade. Some people talking about Nvidia bouncing off support. Thank you for that as well. Yeah, Rivian is just a mess. We'll look at that. But there's SoFi. If we can get back up to 10, man, I mean, that's probably an area that well, actually, it's at 10 right now. Maybe 10.05. I feel like the high of the day is a pretty good out for SoFi. So we'll wait to see if that comes through. And I probably need to do a little bit of work here on an out for NEO. It's just kind of barcoding. This has been a monster trade for me. Like, Sort of wish I was able to put this on when the show was on, but okay, so I'm not going to short it into here. The market is trying to get back to the upside here. We're above the 50 period and we're trying to break, so I think this is a good area to get out of NIO. So let's go 1830 right into, let's go a little bit higher than this. We only have 5% left. Let's go or less than that. Let's just go right here, 1836 break. Let's call it 1840 flat. I mean, we're going to give up a little bit here, but I think NIO's a negative name. You just heard that talk there from our friend from Rivian about semis being in trouble a little bit. So I'm going to take one more short right here on NIO. The market just popped though. Nah, I'm going to stay away. I don't need to go short here, so we don't need this. It's above the 50 period. We're just going to use 1840 as our out. The market seems to be pretty hot right now. I have no idea why, but it is trying to take out some new highs here. Not new highs, but afternoon session highs. NQ. The NASDAQ, when we came back on, I think it was close to being flat.
Yeah, I gotta quickly show a level 2 here because I'm out of SFET and I might not trade this unless it's long off $1 again. But the level 2 on this stock, it's $1 stock doing 3.5 million shares. Look at it's 3-cent spread at the high. Like I just got out of the 16 short because of this. Like I don't like this liquidity. All of a sudden is just, it was bad enough when it was down at $1, but that was reasonable. For it to break the high like this, and you don't even have a 1-cent spread on $1 stock, you want these things to be liquid and have $1 spread so you can be sure about your out. But it took out the top, so I'll get out of it. The long still looks like it's working, so hopefully, maybe Dominic, you still have some of this to the long side. But a spread that small doesn't really favor either direction. There's some size at $1.25, so I think you can hang your hat on that. But this stock, it's on my do not fly list. And Siren, by the way, broke that hull price. Maybe it has a bid off $10 if it can get down there. This one feels like it's in full capitulation. I'm still looking to short a pop. It just doesn't feel like it's going to happen here. And I have to watch out for a firm because the market really starting to bounce and get back to these highs.
Yeah, I was thinking about shorting. There it is. Okay, so we're short Facebook again. All right, so Facebook is right into here. I'm going to give it to this 194.50. Let's just see if the market actually wants to do this. And if it does, then yeah, we'll give back our Facebook profit. But I don't know. Right here, this little bounce. Well, actually, Facebook is flat because it went back up. Not flat, sorry, we're still in the money on Facebook. So, but we told you where we were going to get out on the bump back up, so that happened, so we got out. And now we're going to play it off of this level right here. This is 194.20. So we'll get out of this at 194.20, but I do want to average in just in case we don't believe in this. Look, our day's been really good, so we can afford to do this. So let's hold on right now and see if this one wants to come back in. That's the NASDAQ. So if it takes it out, then we're going to be in trouble. But it's this 194. I kind of want to give it a little bit more room than this. It would be 194.20. So yeah, maybe one more average in. And then the problem with Facebook, like I said, when it goes, man, it just goes like nuts. So there's a lot of excitement here for Facebook today. But yeah, the market's still going higher. We'll put out one more average in and then just give this a little bit more. We're just trying to go short now, but the market is blowing to the upside. So maybe we got to think about these longs. SoFi right now up to $10. So that's a good one. Oh, instead of talking, I should hit that. Let's just wait on Facebook now and see if it gives us that bottom tick.
Yeah, and of course, I should have just gone to 9. I did miss out. That's come right back to 550. So that $6 short still feels like it's pretty good. Dominic, he's still holding that long. I was just sort of cautioning. Usually there's more liquidity on names like that when it's done a few million shares, and that's what you want to see. A firm, I still want to take a shot at this level at 36 if it goes up there again. But if we come back into VWAP and the market's still pressing to those highs, that's a good sign. What I don't want to see happen, ideally, when you're in a short trade, I'm just going to do this, is if we bounce off 4,200 now. Now if the futures hold 42, and that's the ES, well, if it's the NASDAQ, I'm talking 13.3. I am watching both. At that point, if we bounce higher and I get any chance to get out at VWAP, I'm just going to go ahead and do that on a firm. I don't want us breaking either high. I would not want to, I'm not taking a short in front of 36 if it gets there to reload if we're breaking out on the futures. That just feels reckless. I mentioned that I was in GameStop before. And it was kind of okay because it was looking pretty, and then I almost made the top wick. That pulled back to 102. I just felt when the market was going, like, why is GameStop at $108 when AMD was at $108, both bouncing off 100? Like, really? That made sense? It didn't, but I also didn't hold on to the trade, so it was a bit embarrassing. But I got to show it to you because it's close to the top wick. Like, right after I got out, somebody broke this high of the day and then got out like 30 cents higher, it looks like, and then it flushed back into VWAP. There's all kinds of relative weakness there. But sometimes when the market's going like that, if something doesn't make sense, fade that it does make sense to be there. Fade that instead of something that's really strong, like an AMD, which eventually did get to that 110. I'm not touching the semis to the short side, not with the strength they've been showing. And that 125 on SFET, that's the last size that's there. It looks like it's about to go. Yeah, it just got broken out. This is why I wanted to get out. There's just not a lot of liquidity. Now it's showing up on the bid at a 124. If you pop to the daily chart, there is the top end of this consolidation is about 130. So there is a chance that there could be some bag holders that love this range to be able to get out. If I see liquidity at 30s, I'll take a shot. Otherwise, it might still be too thin.
Oh, man. I don't know what just happened there. I'm going to get some out at 50. Facebook looked like it wanted to go to the downside, and then all of a sudden, I think it was a big buyer. There was some sort of a iceberg order there at 193.50. So just watch out. I'm going to put a bid there, get out. If hopefully it comes back down and fills us, it will take 25 cents. But I'm pretty sure of what I saw there, guys. Like, it looked like there was a buyer there at 193.50. Like it was going to break, and I feel like it printed dark pools below it, but it held. So let's wait to see what happens now at 193.50. I don't want to take 25 cents on this, but I have enough shares that I can piece it out. So we'll do that, and then we're going to hold for the bottom. But I just want to make sure that we get a piece out, because if if he does hold it again and the market rips up, then I'm going to get short and we're going to wind up losing. So let's just test it one more time. Anyways, we'll see. 193.50. I do have a bid there. I was holding it out for 29s. So you guys saw that, right? See, this is what I mean. I think there was that printed 20. Yeah, 24s, 25s there. Like, I think there was some action. Some funky stuff happened anyways when it came down to 193.50. So let's see if it comes down again. Here it comes. Yeah, see, didn't want to go there. Let's see what happens at 193.50 here on Facebook. I feel like this little wick, there was stuff. So normally we'd hold it, but let's just see if we could take a risk here, get a piece out. I'm showing it here. I'm purposely not moving because I want to show you guys this. If it comes down to 193.50 on the bid, I want to see what happens. I want to see if there's a big order that shows up or a dark pool that holds it or something. We're on a lit market. Okay, so we're out. So we just got out at 150. No, so, okay. So puff, puff, pass. I don't know what I was doing. It doesn't look like there was anything there, but it just went, okay, and I mean, it comes right back up, but all right, so we'll take a piece out there for 25 cents. I think it was a good move. It only went down there to like 20, went down to 41. So we can hold this now. I don't have any more bids for Facebook. So far, so good on this one. If this market can crash, then we should have a monster on our hands here with FB.
Yeah, and just going back to a name from earlier this morning, Square. Well, I guess we did talk about Square in the afternoon. Getting close to that 105 top. This is testing out the high while the market is trying to roll over. But I'm looking at the lower high right now, the 104 level. Just a quick lockstep. We had a top yesterday at about 103 to 108, and now you're getting, if you look at the trend, it's basically been a fade on every single top. So I want to take maybe 2 cracks at Square. If it breaks out, fair enough. It just feels like maybe we're not in breakout territory. So if we get closer to this 104 area, I'm going to hunt for a short in that. By the way, that's SFED. It did turn at 125. So, me deciding not to short it because it didn't look very liquid was obviously the wrong decision. Either way, you have to make a call there. And it got real thin. And what I'm getting at there is if you can't punch out, or when a level breaks, if you're using a stop, let's just say, and there's no liquidity above it, as I'm trying to go to Siren and my chart's about to fail, it exposes you to more risk. Like if you have to cross further on a dollar stock, I'm not expecting to get slipped more than a cent or two. Like, and on that stock, it looked like you were going to get slipped 5 pennies on a $1.20 stock. Like, that's ridiculous. So I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to pull up Siren here because that seems like it's about to capitulate one more time. There we go.
Facebook finally making the move down there. I wish I didn't have that thought there about Facebook at 193.50 because we were waiting for that view up. So I really did give up 25 cents on the short, but now it's come back in. It's down to 193 and change. I really feel like this could be a banger here, especially if this does not hold, right? This 50 period does not hold, and we start to go down, and then the next thing you know, we're testing some of these session lows again here. So let's just wait to see, man. Facebook has a big opportunity, I feel like, to absolutely crack lower. Well worth holding for me into this this trade. We'll give it back to flat now, but let's see if Facebook does have this room to go down to the bottom. I feel like we might have pegged this, so good movement here. The only trade, again, NEO, we talked about that right up here. Remember, I was like, maybe I'll put on another short, maybe. Didn't. Now it's back down that 20 cents from that level, so screwed that one up, but there goes Facebook to the downside. CEI, I mean, it just bounced. We're only in 10% of this. We absolutely destroyed this name today. It's my #1 stock, full default right here for me. So whatever that is for you, it is for me. Down to the downside, nice little out there at $2. I think it was 195 is my best out, maybe 194. But then, you know, this move from 106 to the upside to 130 was good. And again, that's 20% out there, 20% there, 20% for 5 cents, or sorry, 10 cents. 15 and then 20, and now we'll wait to see if we do get a bust out here on Camber, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. And bye-bye, ciao bella, as this goes to the downside. What a roller coaster ride today for Facebook, but your boy has this one again, $1 in the money, so we'll wait to see where this one goes. And remember, our SoFi, maybe I'll get it out now. Let's not wait for 80s break. Let's just take it out if it breaks here, 83. Look, money is money, and if the market's going to crash, then we don't want to be long SoFi, so we'll get out of this at 83. Forget it. If it goes to 80, we'll get out. I mean, look, I'm talking about dollars on Facebook, and here I am worried about 4 cents on SoFi. Let's give this to a 980 break. What's up, one of you?
Hey guys, we're just 15,000 subscribers away to become 300,000 YouTube community. So if you're watching our show every day and for some reason is not a subscriber yet, please make sure you go to our homepage and hit subscribe button. And guys, you already know, smash the like button. Back to you guys.
There you go, 300, that's a big number. We feel like it's taking us a while to get there, man. We hit that 250 and it was pretty spicy. We got to get something.
How close are we?
285, we're still 15K away. But we can at least start thinking about what we're going to be imbibing when we get to 300, if we even bother doing that. But look, obviously we love the community.
We have that scotch.
Oh, the Oban. Yeah, and by the way, like,
I just got out of Facebook.
That was a heck of a lot of fun, man. Having guests on, actually live in the show that have been here. So Isaac and Mohammed, they came by. They had a gift. It was fantastic. They got to ring the bell, hoping to have a little bit more of that. I saw Dominic in there. He's like, "Oh, you're not going to get me on the show. Maybe we'll get you at some point." Dominic was joking about how, because he likes, you know, Dominic, Super Chats. He was joking about how he likes all the small caps. Like, yeah, they don't follow fundamentals.
All right.
Trading's trading, bro.
Dominic.
Trading is trading. There's anybody that's like, oh, this isn't a real stock. That's not real trading. That's nonsense. Do you make money doing what you do? Is there a trading opportunity there? Then it is trading. Like, there's no snobbiness about it. Like, I once heard we had a guy on the floor who, I won't say what major, he was at a major bank for lots of years, and he used to say the same thing. He's like, a lot of times, the real traders understand that people can call things gimmicky, but if you find a setup, if you find a pattern that's executionable, then just do it, and then keep going back to it. There is no such thing as the right or wrong way to be making money in the market or trading, as long as you're following the rules. Obviously, I don't mean, like, the wrong thing to do would be to break the rules, clearly. But yeah, as long as you're doing that, then make your money however you do. And I don't mind any different type of style, man. Like, as long as you got an edge, then go ahead and hammer it out. Is there more news on this?
No, there's not. I was just going to say, you want to talk about making some money? Look, as owner of the Packers, we had to do it. We had to sign this guy. Shout out to you, Dominic. I mean, I don't know, but, you know, I was consulted on this as an owner, you know, and what are we supposed to do? Aaron Rodgers, my screen, please, Randy, there. Signed now 4 years. Look, 2-time MVP, right? He signs the same deal. He's going to get 153 guaranteed. So the same amount of money per year as Patrick Mahomes, you know, but again, Aaron Rodgers, 2-time back-to-back MVP, the only first.
Should have been Josh Allen.
The first 4-time MVP in NFL history, I believe. So there it is. And again, you know, I had to do it. You know, we had to do it, Dominic. We didn't have a choice, you know, and again, that is what it is. But it sucks because, you know, there goes $200 million. Thank God I don't have to pay for it all. But hey, as owner of the Packers, it is what it is right there. And a big shout out to everybody there. We'll see. That just means that we win the NFC at least, or at least go to the championship game, hopefully moving forward, as long as we don't face the 49ers there, Dominic. Oh, and I did want to say something. Send me a DM on Twitter, and I get you on Prad Show if you want. So shout out to that, Dominic. Send me a DM and you go on Prad Show tomorrow, whatever day works for you. What's up, Brendo?
Just noticing, guys, some of the travel stocks having a really nice bounce back day as well. You can pull up any of the airlines, but a lot of them look like this right now. 5% for UAL. There was a note there at lunchtime or around lunchtime. They were saying the cost of a plane ticket going to be minimum $30 more going forward because of this move in crude oil and fuel charges or fuel costs for the airlines. So big bump for airlines today.
Look, yeah, it's a monster recovery, but good luck. Good luck guessing that. And I know we mentioned if it was your thing, when it's a panic bottom, sometimes those are good times to buy. But I'm not even gonna make it up, man. Like my heart wasn't even in the UAL when we were like, it's just there was a support level there. It was down 15%, and I'm watching AAL today. By the way, that's the one that was at least on my radar this morning. But even they're starting to fade back in. Like you're getting lower highs all across the board. Like I was just talking about Square at 104. Oh goodness, of course. You know what? Every time that happens, I just got to do this for you guys. Just pop over to my other chart. I was talking about Square at 104, and like 2 minutes later, you're already down 102.5. So you're getting big time pullback in just about everything, and the lower high in the futures. So if you got a short, hold on to it. I think that's the way to go. Otherwise, some of these rallies, it was almost like a capitulation rally where the market just said enough is enough. It was looking for a catalyst to break this trend. Like essentially, we made a double bottom at last week's low, right? So you get that 13,000 level in the NASDAQ, and then you got all the way to the top, you get that 1,000-point rally, and we came back, and maybe it was just looking for a catalyst. But, you'd love to see it close if you're bull. You want to see it close higher, a little bit closer to those tops, and we're just not there right now. So there's still 40 minutes to go here. I feel like I still want to be fading some of these names off the top, because anything that gets to the high, that I think is a relatively weak name, and I can short it off the top when the market's nowhere close to those highs, I'm going to go ahead and take that shot. I wanted Square 104, but you saw it just retraced $1.50 before you could even get in. So it feels a little bit skittish is the word I want to use still in the market.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers right now is saying that he's back with the Packers, but he's not sure that those reports are accurate on the amount. So it could be more than that. So I don't know, man.
More?
These, us owners have lost our minds right now. Okay,
Come on.
We did get out of Facebook there, unfortunately, so we'll spike it down. It's a good trade, but I did get nervous there when the market spiked back up right here 5 minutes ago. I was like, I'll take it. So we did take 70 cents there and got out at 192-ish, 10 or so there on Facebook off that short. Darn, that would be now $1.40 in the money. We missed that opportunity. Darn it. That's on me, obviously. But there it is, going to the downside right now. We're going to get out soon of SoFi, which is fine. There's only 10% left. And then NEO, though, look at this name, man. Cratering right now. We'll see if we get back to 18. That's going to be a good name to look at. Alibaba today makes 52-week lows down to 98 again today. So Alibaba, another name that maybe we should look at with this market cratering. Charlie Munger, so smart. All these guys, so smart. Charlie Munger was buying Baba at 128, calling it the trade of the year. Well, okay, you're down 30% now in 2 weeks, so not great trade there, buddy. But you could see all the way to the downside. There's absolutely no love for Alibaba as this just continues to get cracked. I don't know. I mean, we did have some dancing here when he was talking. Obviously, watch, they're going to say he's out, but there's no way.
No way.
There's no way. But we'll watch out for this. It did make a bottom of 95. The 52-week low is 98.40 it was. Now new 52-week low will be whatever it closes at and or 95.59 right there intraday. So we'll look and we'll see. But I feel like this name could get even lower here, especially if the NASDAQ does turn a little red here, which it may do. We're only up 0.61. So I'm going to look for this, man, $98, a $98 break on Alibaba, and we'll test the short here into the afternoon. So we'll look at that for Alibaba, and that's just an idea of mine. Oh, and then the other name, someone said and was giving me more props there, but whatever. I mean, I'm not in this name. But yesterday when we were talking about airlines, and it was like, which ones do we buy? I said just buy the ETF Jets. So there it is right there. Jets got right into a great level, man, $16, $17. I don't feel like this is a horrible play at all. And I don't even know if I was in this, I probably would just keep this. I wouldn't even take that 7%. I think it can go back up to the upside. But again, you got to watch out down here for oil as fuel and all that's, going to get spicy very, very soon. We'll see on some comments, but there it is, man. Thanks for the respect there on the chat because I did mention Jets yesterday. Today up 7.
Yeah, the chart I was trying to show, and like this is ridiculous, but you still can't show the UAL chart because I'm having that same problem. Like even when I get the symbol right, it just doesn't want to call up anything that I haven't looked at yet today. There it is, finally. Like what I was talking about on UAL was just how bad it had been, and then the $30 level, and that's exactly what ends up finding support. But let's be real, like that was that late market rally that gives you this win. Realistically, yeah, okay, fine. It ended up holding that support level, so it all worked out for you. But where was the trend going in the morning? It was still going to the downside. I just think every now and then you get a bit of a bank error in your favor, and now you've got a good level base to work off of. So that ends up working out for now. I mean, temporarily everything is. Firm, with the market just making a peel back, 42,000 on the ES and that 13.3 on the NASDAQ about to get tested. So I'm going to go back to my plan of action for load. For a firm, it's getting close to that 34 area here. I mean, if we get down here and we're not at least breaking, if we're not holding or bouncing back to the upside, I'll probably just go ahead and hold it till 350. But if we catch any kind of a bid in the market, I'll just take VWAP like we did on Lucid. It's been a wild ride on a firm, and I think it's been a good one so far. But you don't want to get too crazy. And that siren, which that was going absolutely nuts, it feels like this one wants to make another move. Now, it's gone back and forth off of this, I guess, halt up price at 11.15. I was trying to get it at 13 short. It went to 12.50 there, pull back to 11, but it just doesn't seem to want to capitulate at this point. So the longer this lingers, holding well above that 10, well above VWAP, it's going to make a move. Like, it's not sitting there in a 50-cent range for the rest of the day. It's pretty much almost impossible for these things to do that in power hour. I expect it's going to make a break in one direction or the other. You've got cover on the long. Your stop is down around 10.50 or so. The short, yeah, good luck with that. Like if you short it here, like what are you risking, $1, $1.50? I don't think that makes any sense, risk to reward. But I'm just looking for this to make any kind of a shakeout one way or the other. Just safer to get a shake down, hold the low, and then you can actually get a long that makes some sense, risking less than a buck here. That's what I want to see have happen. So I'm almost betting, I'm hoping for the capitulation or one more where it holds that 10.50 bid and you can sort of fill the gap, get 70s to 80s, and then be able to run it. Running out of time for that type of a play, though, with only about 25 minutes till imbalances. And SFET didn't fill me, but it went down to, I don't know why, it went down to 103.5, it looks like. I was still in the bid of SFET. So I guess I should move it to actually 103.
All right, we'll get you guys Miss V in a minute here. Okay, so I knew I wasn't going crazy, and I just saw this in our chat. So Randy's in the building. So I was giving the credit to Randy. So here it is, right here on his boat. It says, here we go. So here we go right there for Randy. So I knew I wasn't too crazy there. And then here is the picture of said boat. I bet you there's been a lot of walleye caught and whatnot out of this thing. So there it is. There's the nice boat there. I like it. Wow. How old is that? Like in 1970s there? The Johnson motor there? When? 1955?
Damn.
Right there. So yeah, not too bad with the 70s. That's not a bad guess. Right there. But,
I wouldn't have got it.
There it is right there. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. Nice, sick boat, man. Sick boat. But thank you, Randy. Here we go for Randy. So a shout out there to anybody into boating. Thank you for Randy. But without any further ado, let's go back over now to the big desk with Ms. V.
Hey guys, we've got a new member, Lena NG. Thank you so much for becoming a member, and happy International Women's Day to you guys, and shout out to all the members again. I remind you, if you want to become a member, support the show, just $5 per month. You can find join button on our homepage next to subscribe. Your name will be in green. You have tradertv.live custom badges and emojis, and we will work on creating something specific and special to support our members and say them thank you back. So everyone who's on the green side, shout out to you, back to you guys.
Is there, I'm a little bit curious how Tesla went for you there, Ms. V. At some point, maybe we'll figure that out, because I just noticed it. I don't know why this didn't occur to me a little bit earlier in the day, but Tesla bounced exactly at $850. Bounced, rejected exactly at $850 at about 120. And I'm talking 849.99 is the high of the day. Sometimes it ain't that difficult. And I mean, any kind of rollover at that price, it's too late now. I was trading lucid at that moment because I did like that price. But Tesla, this is yet another name. It cannot break out 885, 850. It's got to get through there. 900 overhead resistance. So many things, even when they're strong. And today it is super strong. NASDAQ 0.5, Tesla 3.5. Does that trend actually give you confidence that we're breaking back out? Not really. So that's even one of the stronger names here. And that's why I lean to sort of going with what has worked. Like every single day, finding the fades and holding your shorts when they go in the money has been the way to be able to play this market. Understand that a headline can get you out of the trade and then you've got to back away from it and find a new level, but that's the case here. Of course, I call up Tesla, as I'm saying, it looks relatively weak and it drops like $8. So that's the kind of market we're in as it makes another press down. So here we come. This is going to be that move on a firm where, hey, are we busting through 34 in VWAP or are we not? Do I have to get out of this trade? We finally got the top here, but I took a couple of swings at it. One that was too early. Then it made the high, and I waited for a lower high, which is what you should pretty much always do when the market gets rallying the way it did this afternoon.
Man, that sucks, man. Our Facebook would be like, we took 60 cents on it, man. It would be $2 in the money right now. Ugh, it's frustrating, but there goes SoFi. Finally, SoFi's out, man. We're walking on water on this name today. Long at 930, out 979. Pretty happy with that trade. What else was it? Oh, yeah, it was Rivian. I have to pay for shorts. I forgot to do it this morning, but I was just looking at it. I was like, when you were mentioning some of these EV names starting to go to the downside, I was just looking at Rivian here off of VWAP. I tried to short this. It was 80s, but now it's breaking a little bit lower. So why not? We'll take it. Wow, look at our boy Neo go to the downside right now. So that should be a good trade here. Oh man, I'm going to miss this trade here. I have to punch. I still can't get this on Rivian. I'll take some 62s. There we go. We got 62s here on Rivian to the short side. So we'll wait to see if that's coming in now. I would have liked to got it back here at 80. So let's see if it rips back up, into the mid 70s or something. We can average in on that and then get out if it takes out 43 or so to the upside. So we'll short Rivian right now. Yeah, look at Neo just absolutely collapsing here. This is a great hold, man. This was on our sticky note today to take this short. We're now $1 in the money, 80 cents in the money as it's just collapsing. There we go. See you later, alligator, to the downside right now. Look at that, 1780 we just went to, man. This is a monster. We have 80 cents in the money. And I was saying I should have shorted it right here, but we didn't, let alone hold our Facebook short. Wow, for that one. CI's come back in now. Probably worth getting out. There's some size there. If it breaks this level here, 13, we'll get out. We're long at 6. It's a good name. We should have took them all out at 35. We thought there was a chance to test VWAP again. Not correct. So before this thing cranks down to $1, let's get out of this. What is that level? It's 113 break. So we'll just put it for 112, where the players dwell, right? So if that breaks down to the downside, we will take that out at 112 here on Camber, everyone's favorite dollar stock, I feel like. Today, 700 million shares once again for this name. It ain't Mullen today. Actually, we didn't even know. I didn't look at it.
It ain't Mullen today, trust me. Like, I don't even need to look at it.
Look at that?
I'll call up Mullen in a second, but trust me, there's no way Mullen was a better stock to trade than Camber.
No,
Yeah, there's no question. Are you going to see me out of a firm? Like, I got to show you, like, the NASDAQ accelerating to the downside, just breaking lower, and a firm just slowly grinding in VWAP. So I said if that was the case, I would get out and take the profit because it's going to show some relative strength, higher lows all the way through. So want to bank it. If you're going to go, like I said, sometimes the trend is up and you can make money on the shorts, but don't get too stubborn about it. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I just got flat, so I can look at Mullen. Look at this. It's up 10% today, but look at that's not really doing much of anything. It had one pop into 150. What are you doing with this stock outside of maybe buying it $1 or $2? I'll be looking at $1 tomorrow on Mullen. I'll give you that much, but it might be to the short. We'll see about that. But yeah, look at all the barcoding going on here. And that's the difference. Like CI is just giving you, I think, better and cleaner trading opportunities. And that's what you want to dig into. Square, this is definitely the one that got away this afternoon. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, right when I was talking about the short on Square, it started to fall without me. CYRN did exactly the same thing. It popped $2 down when I was trying to offer it as we were going over the levels. But Square's now pulled back to 101 from 104. The next thing is, can it hold 100? There's still time here. We have just under a half an hour, so there's a chance we can get a pop down to VWAP. Well, 100's above VWAP there, but at that 100 level, definitely within striking distance. The way a firm is sort of bucking the trend and being a little bit strong as it pulls back, I think Square is showing you those same signs. If I can get something in front of 100, I'll take a shot at that long. But I'm not going to get stubborn with any trade here. Going to have obvious stops, not want to throw away the profit from today, and be watching out of the corner of eye these futures because the NASDAQ just turned red.
Yep. Wow, it did, eh? I remember,
just now.
Yeah, I just see it here. Yeah, remember when I was saying, like, and the NASDAQ was up here, and I'm like, I have a feeling this thing turns red right back into this area, but there it is right there, NASDAQ. To still be short Facebook right now would be to be gold. Down here, oh my God. We just shorted this thing 193.80. That should have been a $3 winner there on Facebook. We identify a super weak name, obviously, in Meta. And what was that even doing up here at 197? That's just pathetic. And we got out on a bump up in the futures there. Believe in your trade, man. That's for sure, and I didn't there. So, but Rivian, unfortunately, doesn't seem like it wants to make the same move, but it's coming back in. So we'll see here. Rivian with not great news at any day, it seems like. But there it is. We are now short at 62. It's into this area. I am bidding 35s or 34s. We'll find it out. But hopefully it comes back down and fills us in the 30s, as Rivian should give us this fill in the 30s. A nice little move down. Hey, it's 30 cents. We'll take it if we can get it. Rivian to the downside here right now, absorbing some 38s, 39s. One little push down here, and we should be able to get where we're sitting here at 35. So Rivian to the downside here. That looks like that's going to be a good trade for us. So all is well on that front. But again, seems like it's. I was just going to say, seems like it's absorbing some here. Let's put a bid at 40 there. There we go. We just got that, or no, we did not. What did we just get there on Rivian? We didn't get anything. We actually averaged short there. We put the wrong key in. So let's put a bid and get out here if it prints a little bit lower than 40. We didn't mean to average into that short. We actually meant to get out. So need some more coffee, I guess. But here we go. Hopefully it comes down to the downside. Yeah, we'll wait on this for Rivian down here, as the market just did turn. We didn't mean to get shorter there, but I'll take it. Into the 30s where we go for Rivian is the first stop.
And I finally found something that I also love. TMC. This was a long for me this morning. It was a day one materials play that's a smaller cap. But it did, look, it flushed when it got to 3. Made a bottom breaking 2 even. But then it made, since that break, or at least that test of 2 even, you're going to see 230, 225 had been resistance, double top at 230. I just started offering this thing 28s and then 26s, and then it starts slowly running away. But if I use a 230 stop, I'll take either one of those fills. I think that'll be pretty solid. Square on the other end. By the way, Camber actually bounced a little bit there. Sean, I don't know if you still in that one? Or CEI, yeah. It bounced a little bit. It was, it just got up back to that 120 area. And that looks interesting because like 120, 121 has been a temp high. If it can break that, I think it gets spicy. As usual, I'm sitting in front of 100 on Square. It goes to 165 and then starts to bounce. So it feels like it's one of those days where like the market starts running away just before it gives you like that feel that you're going to want to get. I see you, open-minded mafia. I'm not even like DWAC. Like that's a name which, come on, load up. That's a name which I think has some room to maybe fall back down before it consolidates. It's SSR today going down 10%. Now the bulk of that was right off the open when it went nuts, and since then it's actually shown some signs of strength. But it's that wick, like those capitulation wicks have gotten out of hand, and you have a couple of days worth of it. It's breaking the 50 period here. I think it just has to settle. Like you've got to see this thing settle down likely in the mid 60s where it did last time, and then make a bit of a base. But that is a very strong breakdown from 100. It's at that 50 period. A close above it would be great, but I think it likely settles in the 60 range before making any kind of a secondary run. I just got that TMC at 26 there. Didn't want to have to chase it. I'll take some more shares at 28 with a 230 stop there. And open-minded media, amen. Shout out to Timbits. Hell yeah, I don't know why, but you better believe it. I got no problem shouting out to Timbits. By the way, we haven't had Timbits on this show in quite some time. I was proud of myself. We're at Tim Hortons, Brendan and I, this morning, and didn't come out with any pastries. Maybe we should have grabbed some Timbits.
Yeah, as always, tomorrow. And I heard Drake is petitioning, like doesn't have anything better to do, to bring back Tim Biebs, the Bieber Timbits, because apparently they're gone now. So like this is what we have to do in Canada. ridiculous.
He's fine.
Yeah, so here we go.
Good.
So Camber Energy right now, we'll go for Miss V. We'll do a little Superman action for Happy International Women's Day. But look at Camber Energy, good hold. It looks like it bounced off that 13. Should have gone long, but we didn't really believe in it. So we'll just hold this last 10%. It's nice, man. I mean, it's 10 cents higher on the last bit of this trade. So I think that's pretty good. Almost like where we got it out in the first place right there. Man, that reload. Man, making that keystroke there on Rivian sucks because we should have been out and only holding half, but that's okay. We'll see. The market is bouncing back a little bit. What's up, Brendo?
Just quickly, guys, on DWAC, there was a few commentary type of notes on that today. Reports suggesting that Trump himself has been overheard yelling on the phone about the lack of positive media coverage on the launch of Truth. And then this sentence is pretty clear. It seems that Trump is fed up with the launch, and some even believe he may abandon the project altogether, which I don't think would be at all surprising.
Forget about that buy the dip at 65. If there's any rumor to that.
I mean, without President Trump, I mean, DWAC doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, really, he's got to be...
I'm not even putting a price target at that.
Yeah, he's got to be the guy driving that. I think we all agree with that. And obviously, that's why it's down. But hey, the thing about it is, look, maybe my cynical side is coming out here, but I don't know, maybe that was leaked for a reason. Maybe they want to get longer at a better price. I don't know. So there's always
wouldn't be the first
time that any of that happened. And this is not a speak to who's doing it. It's just this is what happens, right? We just talked about the Rivian CEO going back on what he was saying. So who knows? It happens in every sector and to every name as well. Just like this oil stuff, it's back and forth. We are doing this. We are doing that. We're not. We are. Whatever. But okay, there it is. NEO. It did. On that spike when it took down 18, man, it went all the way to 1780. Like in hindsight. I mean, unless this market completely collapses, that's a trade we should have taken. So let's put another bid here at like 1790 if we get that. There's only 20 minutes left plus the imbalances. So, I feel like I'm pretty safe with this. We do have Rivian short already. So I'd hate for these imbalances to come out on the positive side for EV. And then I lose Rivian. And then I won't lose on NEO, but lose out on the opportunity to get a better bid. So we'll wait for that. We'll put a bid now at 1790. It wouldn't be surprised if it did 1890 and just marketed it out, but 1790 we'll put a bid there. I believe that was Brendo again.
Just quickly on AI, a couple of people mentioned this, but I don't see anything on this yet, but might have been just a stop out or a fat finger order or something, but huge volume spike there on AI, just got to flush down.
C3 AI. They had a big earnings report a couple days ago. I think it was last week. I believe it's on New York. There it is. So, sub 20 right now on AI. So, yeah, look at this. That's a 20-minute chart. Sorry, I want to see the daily chart here. I believe that's a 1 minute. Where was that? Where's my daily here? Daily. Just want to see. Yeah, there it is on the spike up there. So, sorry about that, Kathy. A nice little buy there. Upside. It goes all. Yeah, there it is. I was going to say it went to 24, but I don't know if it went to 26. That's probably not true. But anyways, C3 AI, a nice little bump to the upside. And look, I haven't bought Palantir in a while, but these names just continue to get absolutely pumped, man. Upstart, Affirm. I mean, when's the last time we even mentioned
But remember
Upstart?
We talked about, actually on that day, I don't talk about Palantir a lot, but we're making a comparison between C3 AI and Palantir and how you can talk about beat up names, but you can still compare them within the space and how there were a lot of red flags, relatively speaking, between the two. And I'm not in the favor of C3AI, by the way. I love when I pull up a chart and then see an embarrassing exit. Wow, like look at the 24 short, and that just did not age very well there. 1 o'clock, it looks like I made a bungle on C3AI, giving it all of, it seems, 20 cents on that short, and then to watch it flush like 80 or $1. Sometimes that happens. You go in front of size at a level, and then it's just exactly the wrong style of trade. But this name's under trouble. I'm glad we pulled it up because that 19 floor, that all-time low at 18, those are things that can come into play, especially when we get past the Fed. So we'll put on the radar. The fact that there's no news on that usually makes me want to stay. Like if there was a reason for this, I'd be shorting this consolidation here. But without anything like that, I'd wait for it to get back to like 2050 area to make a play. I got the second leg of TMC finally, and I'm actually looking at. And now the Camber is going a little bit. There is this 135 to 140 level. I think that could be a scalpable trade if it can press a little bit higher. We are running into the 350. 7 minutes, the imbalances come out. You can bet your bottom dollar there will be some imbalances of note. One that will, if it's there, it'll be useless, is Zynga and Intel, because every single day, Zynga and Intel are in the millions, and every single day it means absolutely nothing because they pair off. So you have to understand which ones will move markets and which won't when they're over a million shares. If you see like Apple on there, a lot of times like that can end up moving the market, but that's still 7 minutes away. Market red on the day, but just barely on both the ES and the NASDAQ.
Yeah, we didn't quite get our reload on Rivian there. We were waiting at 75. It goes as high as 69er, and then it falling back in a little bit. So we'll wait on that. We're almost out of our Neo. We're bidding 91 or 92 down here. Hopefully that can continue to fall in as the market's coming down. Mr. Trader Pratt just messaged us that I guess, again, it's Financial Juice is where we're getting some of these from. Yep. The early mock imbalance, 1.2. And we don't associate with this, so you can go out to it, Twitter, @Financial Juice. You can go have a look. And if it's an inaccurate, it's inaccurate. Just telling you some of the stuff that we look at there. So 1.2 billion to the sell side. Trust it as far as you want to. It's not coming from Neil or I or anybody associated. Just go look it up on Twitter, mock and balance, and you can find that one out for yourself. Okay, 15 cents. What? Oh my God, I'm at 38 on Rivian. It was just at 39 on the bid there. Like, come on, Rivian, let's go. I saw my net start to load, like, get higher up there. And then all of a sudden it was like, no, thank you very much. Oh, there it is. Okay. It just ran me over there down to the downside. So yes, sir, let's go. More backflips coming out right now. That was taken about last year. So you can see I put on a little bit of weight and stuff. But there you go. The backflips coming through there. Bitcoin forming a head and shoulders. I don't know. Let's take this opportunity right now quickly. And I don't want to be here for too long. We will look at Bitcoin charting and stuff like that at some point, just not now. It's too late. We'll look at this maybe tomorrow, but Bitcoin up now in the 24 hours, 3% for Ethereum. I mean, you could see them. That's 2.7, 3.7. Ripple, someone sent me, and thank you for whoever sends me these DMs about something about Ripple today, but that's not really moving. Solana's right there, Cardano. It just looks like the big boys today. Polygon's down here. That's Matic. Dogecoin, I believe, was moving nasty. So right now, basically just the big dogs today. Bitcoin, I'm sure there's lots more, but so don't like send me messages. You forgot to mention this name. But Bitcoin and Ethereum, I just look at like the top 20. So those two names right now moving. So that's good for everybody that owns crypto. A good little play there as right now Rivian. Let's go Rivian. And by that, I mean, let's beat this thing up a little bit more as we go to the downside here. Yeah, we're short. So when you're short, generally you cheer. Yeah. For the downside.
And I waited for, I actually wanted to take a long on Siren. I just did. I waited for it to actually capitulate again, bounce off of that 1050, so it would set up a trade that had a good risk to reward, which did happen there. I was able to get 1085 and then down into that 1060. It breaks that low, but it gave the setup I wanted, right? Like I wanted a shot at this to give one last bump to the upside, but at a risk level that I like. So we made sure we did that. You're going to see it fall back down. It feels like it's going to be a dead name with this market continuing to fall. I know I'm going to look back at this and, actually not that much regret because guess what hasn't broke? Affirm is still at VWAP, so it was probably a good out. Even with the market testing lower, it's right back to where I got out of this thing. So it feels like the firm is relatively strong going into this close. A lot can change in 3 minutes. When the bounces come out, they come out to the sell side. Affirm's not holding this bid. It's probably going to break.
Yeah, so by the way, let's go, man. We're beating it up today, guys. Neo. Boom, down there, 91s. We got it, baby. That's a good trade there. That Neo trade was 80 cents. That's an 80-center right there on Neo the whole day. We have the top, we have the bottom. That's Neo trading for you right there, a long story short. Okay, CEI, let's just get this out, man. We don't need to hold this. There's 14 minutes left. We're literally on fire today, so pretty happy with the way this is going. That's that trade. Facebook, wow, still Tank City. Oh, this is what I want to go over. Rivian, we just took a piece out right into this, man, 20s. So 42.20 out, the double short, that was an accident. We were waiting for here. I wish we would have got loaded back up there at 75. It only goes to 79, or 69, sorry, and now it's starting to come back down. Let's just hold this last piece. Cancel my Neo stops. Make sure, Neil, you don't have any stops out.
I just canceled the last one.
Yep, exactly. So thanks for the reminder. Just joking. Rivian right here. There it is. So we'll just hold this back. If it takes out where we're in, then we'll get out there. A break of 70 and we'll get out of Rivian. Let's wait to see where these imbalances come. But hey, it was really a nice little dap up there in the EV space, man. We had two big shorts today, NIO and now Rivian. NIO, really the cash money trade for me. Number one stock today for me, CEI. Number two, NIO. I'm just talking about NetWise. Number three, XOM. Number four, SoFi. And then Facebook, and then AMD.
Well, someone mentioned this earlier, and I forgot to bring it up. It was Shop, because they were saying, why is Shopify so weak today? It's relatively bad, breaking down and breaking lows. I'm looking at it in Toronto, just because that's what I had on my quote board, because I own shares in Toronto, but I'll show you in New York if I can.
Down 7% again?
I know. This is why I should have just left it on the Toronto daily chart, because come on, load up for me here. It's what happens late in the day. If I had not called it up, it does not want to participate. But 500 is going to be in play tomorrow. I think that's a pretty safe thing to say. This is a lot of names bounced and are at least holding above their lows of the day. Not in the case of Shopify. It is riding the low. So 500 is going to be in play, it feels like, almost inevitably, unless something really crazy happens in the overall market. Sort of mark that one down for tomorrow, because Shop at 500. I mean, you look at those even dollar levels, like 1,000, 100, 500 is a monster level potential for Shop. So it's getting beaten up. I know there's some pressure on advertisers online after Google put the smack down, but this is just a name that has been falling like an absolute rock. And there's been no bounce. Like, look at how much support it's had. The market has been giving monster bounces, and all of these tech and risk names have been able to get off the schneid, and Shop is showing you that it is weak. So do not ignore that. Watch 500 tomorrow. If that gets taken out, it could be pretty ugly for Shop, especially coming into the Fed. We still, of course, have, I think, one inflation reading to come this week, and we'll see what happens there on Thursday.
Oh, God. Some more talk about China and Russia. Some Chinese companies that are dealing with Russia could be punished, so on and so forth. I'm tired of all this, honestly, but let's just get this market going, man. I mean, I hate the fact that we keep selling off over and over and over again every day, especially in the afternoon. We turn red again right there. That sucks, man. Okay, balance time, so let's go. This is why a lot of you are here, so let's go. I always have to fix this. We don't need to see ARCA. We're just worried about New York and NASDAQ. ARCA is the NYSE American Exchange, so sometimes you'll want to see that, like a CEI or something. Anything that's .am would show up for the ARCA imbalances, I believe, anyways. Okay, so let's wait to see here. With only now 8 seconds, if you're watching us live, it's 49.55, 56. Some stuff is going to load up. Watch out for the NASDAQ. We'll see if there's any big names on here, and we'll really start to click it. So there it is. We are now out. Yeah, Neil said it. Intel to the sell side here. That's going to the down. Cisco also another sell side, but you could see the markets kind of flashing here. So I don't know what it wants to do. Cisco, maybe I'll zoom in a little bit more to see, but I don't really see that much here on the imbalances today. No, nothing really here. So nothing that's too interesting. I don't know what PVG is. Maybe it's some sort of an index or something here, but PVG, that's about it, man. Nothing to show for on the imbalances today. Just Intel sell side, and that's not really doing anything right here.
It doesn't move. That's
a daily chart. The 1 minute. Yeah, it's still not doing anything.
Yeah, and it's not going to. Like, it pretty much pairs off every single time. So I just wrote down like that Shop, and I'm going to add DWAC to that list, because obviously the rumor makes it a pretty spicy one. And I'm going to be looking at this 74 floor that we have, 70 even, 80 even, sort of the obvious levels. 80 is going to stand out like a sore thumb if there's any kind of a bounce in this. But yeah, it's just going to be crazy, crazy. Crazy action. I think tomorrow, with the last couple of days that it's had, and then of course Brennan bringing the rumor. You can only really call it a rumor at this point, with Trump maybe being out and all that nonsense. We'll see what happens there. Lucid, which is I think another good call. Anything that held with the market pushing down, because the names that held VWAP, I just showed you Affirm, Lucid. Here's Tesla, sort of holding those lower highs. Like, there's some relative strength that you can dig into. And you want to be looking for those names for the long trade tomorrow. Like, we can add AMD to that list here. Look at AMD holding this 105. AMD's holding not just VWAP, but holding its breakout price. Well, I mean, it broke out twice today. Once the opening range, but then it broke out later at 105.50. That was the top when we left the show at 11 o'clock, and now that's turned into support. So show me something in the midst of the market coming almost all the way back down, going red, that holds both green, both holds VWAP, and holds previous resistance or afternoon support. Those are the types of things you want to see. Tesla, AMD's doing that, Square's doing that, Lucid's doing it. I mean, I'll throw a firm in there, even though I'll probably short it again tomorrow anyways. But yeah, it's definitely holding up and showing some signs of strength. I can't ignore that.
So my top stock just gets added again. More profit, more money, more problems on CEI today. We just got a 24. So there it is, man. I think this is the trade of the day. So stay tuned at 4 o'clock to watch me discuss why we took these prices at 150. If you just look at yesterday, you'll see why. But there it is to the upside. No spoiler alert. And then it came back in, and not messing with it at all at these levels. Let it fade down in, man. A lot of these sort of smaller cap names, I guess high volume, small cap names came in, and we were able to take CEI there, and we held it all the way to the upside, and then there's another 24 out. So long 06 is out, 24. We'll do some backflips for that one. And then finally, we are in Rivian. These shorts, we're going to get out if it takes out 50 here. So we'll get out of Rivian if it takes out 42.50. Otherwise, we'll see where it wants to go, man. I still think a 42 bid is coming, so we'll bid that right now. Let's bid it right now. Let's bid at 42.05 or something like that. We'll put a bid down here on Rivian and then wait to see if that gets filled. How much time is left? 7 minutes? You know what? This market can crack a lot lower. Let's go lower than that. What is this? That's 42 flat. You know what? It might not go that much lower. Let's put a bid at 41.80. I mean, just in case something happens here to the downside for Rivian, we'll put a bid at 41.80. I don't think it's going to go there. We could take some more money out of this name. Rivian, again, a nice little win for us. So that's RIVN here to go today.
So I see someone asking this PMAGs. I'm flat, so I'm not going to be making any trades till the close, or not even going to trade anything till tomorrow. But I see asking about CYRN earnings tonight. The 14th is what I see. So this siren, which is going absolutely nuts in the afternoon, they report, it looks like next week on the 14th. That's what I was able to find. So no, they're not. They moved today. It's not nothing to do with the movement, but obviously we're going to be looking at that tomorrow. Anything that goes from $6 to $14 is on my radar, but it doesn't report until next week. If it reported tonight, I kind of feel like it would be doing a heck of a lot more. It's just bouncing off of VWAP. It was so ridiculously volatile. I would have expected a heck of a lot more if it was actually reporting aftermarket. That's a bit of a hint, right? If it calms down that much when it was going crazy, at 350, it should have done something. It did absolutely nothing.
Thought on Russell Wilson trade? I thought it was just a signing. Was there a trade? Did they still have rights on Russell Wilson? I'm not sure.
So by the way, we saw that Aaron Rodgers thing. I'm not like I know there was talk of Russell Wilson to Denver. I don't know the details.
No, he did go. I guess he went there. I mean, I don't know if it was a trade or not, but we'll check that out after. Look, I think we already talked about this. Russell Wilson is obviously still a premier quarterback, and I don't want to talk too much about football because I know there's not all football heads or anything on here, but he's going to improve Denver. So I mean, I think that's a good play they did.
Apparently,
they got rid of Noah Fant. We were just thinking that Noah Fant would be, a big beneficiary of having a good quarterback. But okay, so there it goes. So we'll assess these trades tomorrow when we know a little bit more about them. But look, I think that's the wrong conference to go into right there. So you got the Bills, you got Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow's hot fire. You got the LA San Diego Chargers. I was going to say Herbert there coming through, and there's just so much talent in
Patrick Mahomes.
It's unlimited. Josh Allen's there, obviously the best of the bunch. Zach Wilson.
Aaron Rodgers just punched his ticket to a couple of Super Bowls.
Well, he can't ever get out of the first round.
But he can get there. Russell Wilson has zero chance to get to a Super Bowl.
Not zero.
Non-zero. I should always say, because you know what? As a trader should never speak in extreme because nothing is for sure. So when I mean he has no chance, I should say non-zero because that's the correct.
I think the Bengals were like 200 to 1 or something to win the Super Bowl, and they at least made it there.
Hey, man, remember we did our sleeper Super Bowl picks at the beginning of the playoffs? I said I did say the Bengals.
That's for sure.
Although look, man, I was obviously rooting for the Buffalo Bills the entire time. So let's be real about this for a quick little second. And then I was cheering for Bengals in the Super Bowl. That TMC, I had to get out of it because it was 350 and I wanted to cover. It then starts to flush. This is starting to come back in. It's still a day one play and above that $2 range. So I went long on this off the $2. Well, it's still above $2, so that is giving you some support. I'll be looking back for this to hopefully hold 2, and maybe there'll be a long for this day 2 play. Well, I'll be technically day 3 on TMC with only about 3 minutes to go. And I saw someone in the chat. You're right. We shouted out Danielle Shea and all the women who have been on the show for International Women's Day. And we would love to have even more. And that's the reality. So if you fire names at us, man, if you think they should be on our show, then let us know, whether you want to DM it to us or pop it in the chat at some point. Like, we have lots of ways to be able to
slip into our DMs.
I didn't say you. You said slip.
I said slip into the DMs
Slide
there.
in.
Yeah,
Slide into Brad's DM.
Yeah, get in there. Yeah,
I'm not that hip. Like,
definitely, I'm pretty hip, so you can slide into my DMs if you want. Okay, so Rivian, just a quick update here. There's only 2 minutes left. I'm bidding somewhere in the O's, so let's see if it comes back to the downside here. Rivian, yes, sir, we'll hit the siren alert. Another one, man. I think this has been a real good, man. We're topping it up. I'm almost at the highest spot we've been at all day here, despite kind of screwing up that Facebook trade. Look at that short that we had. Oh, man, 190 right now. We had this short, 194, dead to rights, and we just covered it like crazy on the way down. But there it is, dead to right on Facebook. Pretty happy with that trade. Now ticking down to 190. We'll see if we can have the same luck here on RIVN. If we can just get a little swoosh. Nike, it goes swooshing the other way. Swoosh to the downside. Now we'll go in the teens now and see if we get a swoosh down and get filled somewhere in the teens on Rivian. But hey, either way, man, it's going to be a 30-cent win as long as we get filled. We're looking for 40. We'll take 30 on the way down here for Rivian at the end of the day. So yeah, man, what an exciting day. Oh, T's trades. Yeah, so T, you mentioned there about imbalances. They just update the whole way. So there's major updates at 355 and again at 58. And then as we go, you can start to see some of these numbers changing. So they just change, but there is major changes where big orders and whatnot go in at 55 and 58. And then now pretty much every 5 seconds or so as the market comes into a close. So yep, there are major moves that do happen at certain times. So definitely now that we all know about the imbalance locator, just watch it for yourself and then study, back test, all that kind of stuff. Find what's right for you and trade it. And there it is, bang, right there, slap shot, central. Maple Leafs get a nice victory in Columbus yesterday. There it is, short Rivian and out, man. We're really super happy. Thank you again for watching. It's been a monster show. I'm almost at the day's high, which I never thought we'd be at. So that's for net, not for the market. I wish it was there. It's been a fantastic day trade today, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. I wanted to point out before we go right to the close, that PVG, it came out of sell imbalance. It did the pop into resistance and fade trade. Sometimes that's there. If you see something going the opposite way of the direction and it goes into a resistance level or the other direction into a support level, a lot of times you can make that bit of a play. It does. Now it's pulling back, right? It was a sell imbalance, so you're seeing it start to flush. That's one of the trades that you can put on. Miss V is going to ring the bell. It's been a wild day. There's been lots of trading opportunities. The market tried to go. It couldn't quite make it, but that's just how it's been lately, right? We can't seem to hold on to those gains. But let's ring it. 4, 3, 2, and 1, Miss V.
Dun, 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 dun. There it is, and we are now closed. So once again, for the 28th time, happy International Women's Day to everybody out there, male or female. It was a big day, obviously, and we're really happy to have one of the best, Ms. V, working for us right live on camera every single day. So thank you for that. The hardest working here. I mean, we get to take a break in the middle of the day. She goes right there and has to deal with Pratt.
Every show.
Unfortunately, has to deal with Pratt. So
and shout out to Maggie and Liz as well, who work for our team and do all kinds of work in the back that you guys don't get to see the front of. But believe me, the entire team is grateful to them.
We don't even have 1K likes. I might not even be here tomorrow on that, so maybe that's a motivation to not even get 1K likes. But okay, Brendan, it looks like the NASDAQ was down. Tell me the S&P was up.
Cannot. Was waiting for it. It was a little wild there right at the end, but it looks like 0.79 was the last one. 0.36 there for the Dow, 0.5% for the NASDAQ, as we said. Back to negative after a wild, wild day. We were very negative, very positive, and then back to the red. So there we go. That's how things end the session anyways. But crude oil, guys, still 4%. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
All right, so not bad there. Crude oil, yeah, a nice little 5% up here and still moving a little bit up to 126-ish, 125-ish right now. It's Prad's world and we all live in it, so thank you so much, Prad, again, for such a fantastic show. Brad, where is he? Is he there? If he's not there, just show an open seat.
He's chilling
That's
right
funny.
now. He's right there. He's
Brad,
dancing. He's literally dancing.
There he is. Yeah, there it is right there. He's dancing. He must have got a good trade there. So that's good. Thank you so much for everybody today. Thank you to Mark, who almost fell off. He didn't almost fall off the ladder, but seemed like there was some sketchy moments there. Thank you to Mark for that. And we're almost done.
Earlier.
And by the way, FYI, we have meetings tomorrow, but we'll figure out. We're almost ready to go.
Close.
Both shows
cameras
at these pimping desks. So we're really super excited for that. Thank you again to Brandon, who came on the midday show there. That was a lot of fun. So thank you for giving us your experiences so far here at Day Trade the World. I think that was a lot of fun right there. But hey, look. It's been a big day. I want to thank all the viewers again for watching. Big thanks to Ms. V today, obviously. Big thanks to Brendan. Thanks to Lucas, Mr. Randy on the ones and twos over there as well. Thanks for sharing your boat. Hopefully we can all go on said lake at some point.
I don't know if we can all fit on, but.
Yeah, maybe not, but whatever. Should be a fun time regardless. Thank you for watching. We didn't go over earnings, but I don't think there's much, right, Brendo?
Nothing serious. No.
Nothing serious. So tomorrow, guess what's going to be on the radar? Everything. So watch us tomorrow, 8:30. Check us. Have a great night from Trader TV Live. See ya.